we do a couple commercials, and then we get cracking. But the commercials,
You're on.
we're on right now. So
Okay.
when the commercials start, if you feel like talking, you just go ahead. It doesn't mean it.
No, I'll
Do whatever the fuck you want.
I'll be respectful to
It
you.
doesn't matter.
Commercials.
Jim Jefferies, I'm telling you, you do whatever you want to do. Everyone's
right.
allowed to chime in.
Oh, he's
Okay.
blowing a fart on me.
Who is?
Jim Jefferies just waved a fart on me.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't even know what I do these days. I did that so subtly because that sounds like something I would have done. So I'm gonna just apologize.
Wow.
Sorry.
And you just went on autopilot. Auto fart on you, pilot. The podcast is brought to you by the Fleshlight. That's our main number one sponsor, our first sponsor ever of all time. Way back in the day when we were just on a laptop with Ustream and snowflakes in the background.
When they were black and white.
They
This
were
is the
black and white.
flashlight. That's
Back in the
what's
days before the Avatar or the not Alien movie one, they were just black and white. We started when there was black and white television, but Fleshlight.
Stop lying, Brian.
It's true.
There was no black and white televisions. What are you talking about?
Like back in the day, there was black and white TV and there
Right,
was
but
color
that's
TV.
not when we started with the Fleshlight.
Or you
that
mean
was a
like
joke
shows
that
like
we
Good
started
Times?
when it was only black and white, black and white flashlights.
That's a terrible joke.
It wasn't.
It doesn't even make
It's a commercial
sense.
joke.
It doesn't even make sense.
Why don't you go back even further and go?
You're
We
so
started
insane.
before
Yeah.
podcasts were talkies.
It doesn't even make sense. That's
You know when it was
ridiculous.
silent? That's when we were
Yeah.
doing
You're
it.
lying to these people. They know you've only been doing it for 2 years. Everybody knows.
No. The flashlight was
Yeah.
only black and white. That's why it's just a flashlight joke. It was not supposed to be really thought about too much.
Well, was it true? There was more. There was a bunch of different colors, right?
No, when we started, I think it was just black and white, unless they had the Alien one before that. But I don't think they did. But
Oh, didn't they have like zombies and shit?
no, that happened recently.
Really?
Yeah. See, it was a black and white.
So
flashlight
that's what
joke.
your joke was.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus
It
Christ,
was a
son.
cheesy joke.
Wow.
It was pretty good, man.
Did you like
Thank
it?
you.
No, I haven't even got it yet.
It hasn't reached yet.
Wait,
I'm glad
wait.
somebody else is here.
I'm still pushing
I'm
that
glad
photo.
because, if there's a message board out there, there's 100 people right now agreeing with Brian. Brian's totally right. The joke totally made sense. It was an excellent joke. They're fucking duking it out right now on some internet forums over this. Anyway, it's a good product, the Fleshlight. Solid. It's embarrassing, sure, but you're going to masturbate, so just go get one. Fuck it. Try it. It's good. Use the codename Rogan and you save 15%. There you go. Just save you some money. Enjoy it. We're also brought to you by Onnit.com, ONNIT, makers of Alpha Brain, the cognitive enhancing supplement, New Mood, the serotonin boosting supplement, and we have Shroom Tech Sport and Shroom Tech Immune. All of them, essentially, except for, I guess the Shroom Tech wouldn't be necessarily thought of as a nootropic, but what they are, what especially Alpha Brain is it's essentially vitamins for enhancing your cognitive function. What does that mean? The way it's explained to me is it enhances your body's ability to produce neurotransmitters, and you feel better. You feel clearer. I take it all the time. I feel great, and I notice the difference between when I'm taking it and when I'm not taking it. I can tell. Go to Onnit.com for details, ONNIT, and use the code name Rogan, save 10%. First 30 pills, the first order you get of anything, it's 100% money back guarantee. So even if you eat it all, you could take all the vitamins, eat all 30 of them, and go, you know what, I think this is shit. Then you get your money back. No one's trying to rip anybody off. This is all stuff that I've used long before I was ever associated with this company, and I'm a big believer in vitamins. So go and check it out. I'm playing footsies with you, bitch.
You was playing footsies with
We
me.
need more space, is what this is. This table's too small. Accidental footsies will not be tolerated. Especially I'm barefoot. I'm like one of the Abbott brothers.
No. Dude, I should take
One
off
of the
my
Abbott
shoe.
brothers in a music video.
I'm gonna take off my shoe and socks. So if you do
Are
it
you?
again, it'll be really gross.
Don't do it. Don't take off your shoes and socks. Sometimes your feet stink, dude. Every
They
now and
probably
then
do.
you rock the wrong shoes too many days in a row.
I slept with my shoes on last night, so you might be right.
I heard you slept in your car. Is that correct?
Yeah, I passed out in my car for a little bit of time last
Shazam,
night.
son.
Were you driving then passed out? Or you just
By the
parked
way-
by the
I
side of
don't
the road?
remember. I just woke up.
By the way, that's so illegal. You should never do that. You should just get a hotel somewhere, because if you're asleep in your car and even if you have no intention of driving drunk, and if a cop knocks on your door, you're going to jail.
But what if you're in the back seat?
You're going to jail.
Really? You
Going
can't
to
sleep
jail.
in a
You
car?
can't.
No.
No.
What about all these comics that always tell you that, like, I was sleeping in my car the first few years?
They got lucky.
They're all doing something illegal?
Well, they're not necessarily doing something illegal. I mean, I bet there's places you could park where no one's going to care.
We could go to rest stops. That's what rest
What I'm
stops
saying
are
is
for.
if you're drunk, If you're drunk and you're in your car, and
Right.
you're sleeping in your car, they don't care that you had no intention to drive drunk. They're gonna fucking arrest you if you're hammered and you're in your car.
I don't drink drive because I'm not a citizen. The day I am,
Yeah, then the
it's all
party
over.
begins. Oh, we haven't even started yet.
No.
Go to onit.com, learn everything, details, blah, blah, blah. Enter in the code name Rogan. Save yourself 10% off all orders. Done. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Jim Jefferies.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Ladies and gentlemen, this podcast unfortunately started about 15 minutes ago, and we just decided to let you in on it now. For the past 15 minutes, Jim Jefferies and Brian
Hi.
have been laughing up a fucking storm. You silly bitches.
I feel like we've used all the best stuff, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I feel like we got out to a good. It's like if you go to the gym and you lift, first thing you do is too heavy, you can fuck up the rest of your workout, right, Brian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brian knows what's up. Jim Jefferies.
I personal train very occasionally with
Personal
a guy.
train?
Yeah, well, no, I get personally trained by a guy who gets very disappointed in me. Kenny Kane.
Oh, yeah?
Who is a comedian as well.
Oh, he's a comedian / personal fitness guy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I think
How do you
he-
become a personal fitness guy? Do you have to have a degree in like kinesiology? or
I
something?
don't know. But he trains lots of famous people, so he must
really?
have something going on, yeah.
Is that all it takes?
I guess so, for me to be convinced. But personal training's just... It's only useful to lazy people. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
because I give up really quickly. It's just the guy. I just need a person. It could be a fat person standing there going, keep going. Come on. Come on. You've got another one in you. And I go, all right then. Because if I'm by myself, I have a very low threshold for any type of activity.
Really? But you make yourself go to the gym, like you.
Yeah, I don't want to be.
there.
I don't want to be morbidly obese. No, my mother's a huge fat woman. I have fat genes. I fight against that. I don't want to be a fatty.
Yeah, well, you keeping it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always on the brink. But yeah,
It's tough to be disciplined. You know, it's tough to force yourself to do shit that's not pleasant.
but you're very good at it. But you enjoy it, right?
I feel like I need it. I don't like the way I function when I don't work out. I don't like the way I think. I don't like my threshold for getting annoyed at things gets too high. You know, I'm too tense. I think physically, the way you physically feel, it affects the way you interact with people. And I think you almost have a duty, you know, to try to keep your shit in line at least enough so it's not fucking up on you, so you're annoyed all the time when you're around people, because that's what you run into a lot of, like, really cranky, bitchy people. You know what that is? That's a person with a really unhappy body. That's an unhappy human.
I'm of the opinion that if you let yourself go too much, you do become a burden on others. It's all right
Yeah,
if you get
I agree.
it's cancer or something like that.
Right.
I think the more fat, it's more comfortable.
There's some dudes where you see them waddle in and you're like, come on, man, you know, someone's got to pull you aside. Like, this has got to stop. Do you not have anybody that couldn't have talked some sense into you? But I guess the pull is just too strong, man.
No, my mother's a huge woman.
How big?
At her peak would have been over 300 pounds.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Oh my
but
God.
also bring in hoarding.
Oh, no.
Yeah, also,
Oh,
like, I didn't
no.
know it was a condition. That TV show changed my fucking life, man. That's my childhood. Wow. I was watching it like, yeah, hoarder, man.
Oh, my God.
Like, every single one of our bedrooms after we moved out, me and my two brothers, those bedrooms would just fill up with shit. Just afterwards.
Jesus Christ. Now, when you look back, what did you think was going on when you were a kid?
My mother called herself a collector. You know how these people call themselves collectors if they
Yeah.
just hoard one particular thing? But it was porcelain dolls. Whoa. Creepy Victorian
Oh my
looking
God.
fucking dolls. Are all around you, hundreds and hundreds of them just staring at you while
Did you
you're...
ever do mushrooms and look at them?
No,
that would
no.
be sick.
Oh, my God.
Terrifying.
Oh, my God.
That would not be sweet. There was one that used to stare at me that I'd had to put a towel over its head every time I was watching TV. Otherwise, I couldn't
Wow.
be comfortable watching TV.
Holy
That's
shit.
how my grandmother was. It was that and those little paperweights that were look like globes or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And they were everywhere, like
the
piles of
snow
them.
when you shook them and the
Yeah.
snow inside
Oh,
of them.
snow
Some of them,
globes.
but
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of those, but also those big marble ones that looks like you just have a huge marble.
Oh,
You know
I've
what I mean?
never understood the paperweight market. I've probably had in my life maybe 10 paperweights.
I don't think I've had 10.
But I've never had a bit where I've like my paper has been so out of control. I just shut windows. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm a window shutter. I see that as an easier fix than just paper blowing everywhere or.
And plus, there's so many outside, like in your yard. If you really needed something to weight
Well,
that something down, just get a rock.
this is
Yeah.
one. A book is
Flashlight,
one. Anything's one. Like there's people who made us think that it's an actual invention. That will build an actual glass object with a spindly thing in the middle.
Yeah,
And then everybody else was like, oh, shit, we got to get involved with that market.
right.
God damn, we got to jump on that globe market.
I wonder if it's patented. Whether
It's patented?
Patented. You say patented?
Could be. Patented. Yeah, that's what we
Did I say patented?
Is that how you would say it? Is that
I
Australian?
think that's how I would say it, but I still think that's the wrong way to say it in my accent. I just think it was me speaking like a tard. I don't think it was anything to do with being Australian.
It's so bizarre how similar Australians are to Americans, even though, like, you know, you guys have a different accent. You know, the accent's a little odd for us, you know.
I think we're more similar to the British personally.
You are as well. But I mean, it's amazing how you go there. By the way I mean it is like you just could fit right in.
Yeah.
The accent melts after a day, and
Yeah.
that's just what people sound like. And it seems like you're in America. I mean,
Well, I don't notice the American accent now on anybody at all. It's only when I have to do an audition and they make me do the American accent that I get a bit shitty with the whole thing.
oh, do they do that?
Yeah.
They make you change your voice for
Yeah,
something?
and like I fucked up one audition. I got a couple of callbacks, and then I said the word. I said I went to the zoo and I saw a zebra. I still said zebra in an.
Whoa!
I
Listen to
still
the way he
s-
just said that.
I still said it in an American accent, but with British phrasing, and they freaked the fuck out.
I need to hear more of this American voice. That was a creepy voice, dude.
Why is that so creepy? What are we gonna do from that?
Dude, that is creepy as fuck. You talking with an American voice.
It's just.
That is creepy.
Like I say that I'm sort of, I wouldn't say synonymous with, but I say cunt a lot on stage,
Right.
and people always want me to say cunt, like when they have photos
Right,
afterwards.
right.
And
Talk American right now.
In my accent, if I say cunt, it sounds great, but even when I say cunt as an American, I go, ooh, well that's a bit harsh.
Dude, you sound like a totally different human when you
just
put
go,
on that
"Hey,
American accent.
Look at that
Dude,
fucking cunt over there.
Come on.
What-
you
what's-
would never think that's Jim Jefferies. There's no way I would think that's you.
I know, but that's the thing
If
is
you
when,
called me up, that would freak me the fuck out. I'm telling you right now, don't do that.
just because I sound gay, is that the problem?
No, it doesn't sound
Hey
gay
there,
at all.
Joe,
It's
it's
just-
Jim.
it
I
sounds,
just want to speak to you very quickly. We have a
It's-
few problems here right now.
it sounds
That's
vaguely fucked up. Like you, it doesn't sound right. It sounds really good though. It's so close to like a real person, but yet not. I'm
Joe.
like, there's something affected about this.
Do an accent, Joe. I want to hear you in an accent.
Do an
I
Australian.
can't.
See how you can do
I
Australian.
can't do it.
You can't even make a like a fake
I don't know
one.
how to do it. I,
Like
mean,
a
I would
fake
have
one.
to
It
like
actually wasn't bad. That
You
was
can't
But I
do a
might-
fake one over there, Joe.
put
No,
another
yeah,
shrimp on
you
the
lost me
bob
there.
at night.
No.
We say we don't say shit.
don't
This is the
say
thing is
shit.
We don't.
I do more English. I think.
Well, mine's 50-50 because I lived in England for 10 years. But we don't say the word.
tricky.
We don't say the word shrimp.
No?
This is like Americans call prawns shrimp. We call them
Oh,
prawns, right? Paul Hogan does that fucking commercial where he goes, "All right, we'll throw another shrimp on the barbie for you," like that, right? And now that's like synonymous with Australians when that's not even a word we say. I have people yell that out at American gigs, like when I'm on stage, going, "Do the shrimp thing." I'm like, "What? Fuck off, man!"
Isn't it weird how many like crazy personalities have come out of Australia? Like the Crocodile Hunter,
Crocodile.
Paul Hogan,
Yeah,
Crocodile Dundee.
yeah, oh yeah. He
know?
was our Diana.
Yeah.
Crocodile
Dundee was here in Guyana.
He lives around here somewhere.
Does he?
Paul Hogan, yeah.
Kangaroo Jack.
They only did a couple of those Crocodile Dundees though, and then they were done. I would have thought that could have been like some Indiana Jones type shit.
No, they did a third.
coming.
You haven't
They
seen
did a third?
The third one's appalling. The third one's almost straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Really?
And it's like because the whole idea was the Crocodile Dundee went from Australia in the outback of Australia to New York, and was like, what the fuck's he gonna do? This is such a different place. He can survive out there, but he can't survive here. So that happened for the first two films. Then for the third film, you think, let's send him to another country like Britain or somewhere else that's different. It's Crocodile Dundee in LA. Now, the thing is, he's been living since the last Crocodile Dundee film. He's been living in New York for over a decade, and then he gets to LA and he doesn't know what's going on. Like, it's too alarming for him. Like, what are all these people wearing sunglasses for? This is weird. Geez, these women's breasts are too big. Like, it's not a great film. And in the end, he becomes an animal trainer for the movies, and he foils robbery.
An animal.
Actually, now I look back on it, it's a great film. I didn't give it a chance.
Just a sheer ridiculousness.
He's
of
still
it.
with Linda Kozlowski, who he married from the.
Oh, from the movie.
Well, see, the thing is, Paul Hogan was married to a real fat woman called Nolene Hogan, who was just this big fat woman, right? And he had 5 kids with her, and then he does which he had before he was famous. Then he did Crocodile Dundee, and he started dating Linda Kozlowski. And the Australian public were like, oh, what's he done to his wife? But now he's been with that bird for 25 years, so you can't really get into him as much.
You start dating a bird?
No. You know how the British...
Brian.
Do you know
Silly Goose.
The Beatles song Blackbird is about Rosa Parks.
Wow.
Because Paul McCartney was going, isn't that good what that blackbird did there? It was pretty good.
Wow. So bird's like a person or a girl?
A girl.
Bird.
Just a girl. Yeah.
Any girl.
Yeah. Like normally, if you say this is my bird or those birds look nice, you wouldn't. It's normally about an attractive woman would be called a bird. Yeah.
Would you ever fuck a real bird?
Oh, jeez.
Like an eagle?
I'll answer.
I wouldn't feel bad about it.
I'll answer the question: what bird would I fuck if I was going to fuck a bird?
If you had to fuck a bird, yeah.
It would be something with long legs, so I didn't have to squat or anything like that.
Like a peacock.
Or then you could just hold the bird and fuck it. But I'm thinking like an emu, or an ostrich, or a flamingo.
I would
probably
do
a flamingo because it's
flamingo.
pink, and then I'd be pretty comfortable with
I'd
that.
do flamingo. That was mine.
Flamingos smell like shit. When you walk past the flamingo thing, you would totally lose your boner.
But they can balance on one
They
leg.
smell so bad.
They have a long neck to choke.
They're just like where they live in the at the LA Zoo. It's like a shit pool. Just a pool of bird shit.
I haven't been to the LA. Does LA have a zoo? I didn't.
Yeah, there's a LA Zoo.
I thought the big one was in San Diego, and the LA didn't really.
The difference between a bird and a mammal is I would feel bad if I fucked a mammal. Like if I fucked a dog, I'd be like, oh, sorry, dude. I'd feel bad.
Right.
Why? Because you
because I like animals.
But a dog's not a mammal, is it?
Sure, of course.
I thought we were mammals.
Mammals are warm-blooded, furry creatures.
Oh, I get mixed up. All right, so whales aren't fish.
Right, they're actually mammals.
But I don't give a shit. It's a fish.
Whales are actually mammals?
Yeah, they got a blowhole.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
Did you say butthole?
Blowhole.
They breathe air, too.
They also have a butthole.
Isn't it funny that nothing that breathes water is smart? Isn't that kind of cool? Everything that breathes water is stupid except for like octopuses.
They think octopuses are geniuses. That's what they reckon, yeah?
Yeah, they think they're kind of smart.
Which is like when you eat like a baby octopus salad or something.
Yeah.
That's why people don't want to eat dolphins because they're geniuses. But now, eating like little fetus-sized, that's a pretty dangerous place to go with the octopus.
Well, it's pretty dangerous to lock up dolphins and killer whales. That's even more dangerous because that's something that we know they're talking to each other. We know they have a complex language. We don't give a fuck, really. So, yep, whatever. Do you want a fish?
It's such a confined space for them.
It's terrible. Not only that, there's a thrill in killing things. People get a charge out of being a hunter-gatherer. Like people that go hunting, when you go fishing and catch a fish, there's like a primal release that you get from that, and that's it's natural. It's like a part of like the reward system that nature's put in place to make sure you carry on. So they have all these raging hormones inside of them and all these killer instincts to take things out. They're supposed to be killing shit left and right. They're fucking killer whales. They're these gigantic, monstrous animals. And they don't get to kill shit.
Dolphins aren't into killing, just little fish.
Dolphins kill themselves. They kill little dolphins. They kill baby dolphins. Dolphins murder each other.
It's fun to grab onto their fin, though, eh?
I like to touch them.
we romanticize it, but the world underwater is cruel as fuck. You know, killer whales eat dolphins, and dolphins regularly eat babies. They kill baby dolphins. They
don't eat baby babies.
No, they would help baby humans, which is funny. So would killer whales.
They just murdered babies all the time.
Yeah, the only whales that have been documented. There's been rumors about people
None of them
killed by killer whales. The only whales that have been documented as killing people are the ones that are in captivity. They actually help people in the wild.
They never kill in the wild.
Yeah.
But that's the same thing. Stingrays. How many stingrays have killed people before fucking Steve Irwin came involved?
I'm sure.
It's like 4 or 5, they reckon.
7.
Really?
Right? It's something real low number.
God, you just can't fuck with something like that.
Well, the thing is, that's why they go, oh, we'll never release the footage out of respect, because they know he wasn't patting it going, isn't this a lovely thing? Look at this. You know, he was grabbing the tail, going, look at that.
God.
That could kill you. And he's pointing it up to his, he's...
God, could you imagine if he did, if that's really what was going on? Do you think that they would owe the American public, or the worldwide public rather, they would owe them that just to know,
Just
that
to say,
you
don't
ever
that.
do this. Yeah, don't do this.
Well, it wasn't even for his show. It was for his daughter's show for like the Disney Channel or whatever. And his daughter was on the boat, and then just...
God.
They reckon he would have lived if they didn't pull it out. It would have
Really?
blocked everything in. If they left it in, he would have lived in time, but he pulled it out.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
But I went swimming with stingrays about a month later, like hundreds and hundreds of them down in Antigua. No one letting fucking idiots like me in the water, so they're obviously a pretty placid animal.
I don't know if they're all the same species. I think there's a bunch of different kinds of stingrays, too.
I don't
know what he was fucking with.
Yeah, well, the thing is, some of them have only very few of them have poisonous stingers, but he didn't. It wasn't that it was poisonous; it went through his heart.
You know, he's a weird guy, because like everybody really loved that guy. Apparently, he was a super nice guy. Like everybody loved him.
He put all of his money back into conservation and stuff. Like he was a very charitable man as well.
But there were people that looked at some of the shit he did and were furious. Like when he was holding his child while feeding a crocodile.
Yeah, that was good.
That was the most ridiculous shit I think I've ever seen a person do.
And he had the little baby running away. I kind of like that, though.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. That's ridiculously cocky. Just because that thing has never jacked you before doesn't mean it can't right now. If it just decides it needs more than that chicken, are you really confident of what its fucking diet's been for the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, true. And the baby is the size of a big chicken.
They would be happy to eat you. There was a bunch of kayakers that were going through some fucking river, and one of them got taken out by a crocodile. So a real recent thing. It was in was it a New York Times article or something like that? But from the perspective of the other two guys that were kayaking, and a fucking crocodile came and jacked them. You imagine the position that you would, what it would feel like to be on a kayak and just get taken out by a giant dinosaur? Just something that was alive 100 million years ago. It looked exactly the same.
Well, they reckon the big difference between crocodiles and alligators is crocodiles search for food and alligators sit and wait.
Really?
So an alligator will sit in a swamp in Miami and just until something stupidly look like a rock until something swims by. Where a crocodile just wakes up in the morning going, I'm going to fucking catch something. So you can't fuck with them as much.
Yeah.
Because they won't leave you alone.
They're very aggressive. There was a park in Florida where they raised crocodiles and alligators together. And
there's only crocodiles left.
Dude, I'm telling you, when they were feeding them, the crocodiles were running over the heads of the alligators to get the food. I mean, it was ridiculous. You just looked at it and you went, whatever that thing is, fuck that thing.
The alligators are the fags of the crocodile alligator community.
Clearly. Yeah, I lived in Florida. I was around alligators all the time when I was a kid. I lived there for a couple of years.
I have no problems with alligators as long as they don't bother me.
Lake Alice, but they would snatch dogs every now and then. Someone would fuck up and walk their dog too close to the shore, and they would snatch it. It's scary shit when you hear about some little old lady and her fucking dog gets yanked away from her. Imagine what that is for her little buddy. You know, she's walking on the leash.
I've just moved into the hills. You probably got it around here as well, but people are telling us not to have a dog because fucking mountain lions will come and eat your dog. Just in the Hollywood Hills.
It can happen. It's rare. It can happen. Mm-hmm. You know, more likely if you have a small dog, it's coyotes. Coyotes are dangerous.
Yeah.
They'll snatch dogs from people too. They've done that many times. They're tricky fucks, and they also will gang up on people or they haven't people. A girl died last year in Toronto or outside of Toronto. Some artist. She was I think it's Toronto. Somewhere in Canada. I'm sorry. I thought it was Toronto. It might not have been. But it was somewhere in the woods. She's going for a nature walk. She was 19 years old, a singer. And apparently she was like a really good singer, had a music contract. She got jacked by a bunch of coyotes.
Was she good looking?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Killed by dogs, basically. Big, wild, crazy dogs.
My girlfriend just gave me a look when I made that joke. She didn't like that joke.
Wow.
Because the implication was that ugly people should be allowed to die. That's not pleasant.
No, that's not.
I'm not saying they should die. I'm just saying that if you're going to save one out of the two.
Save the pretty one?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Do you ever do that before you go on planes? Before I go on a plane, I sit there and I try to work out who I want to live and who I want to die when it crashes. like I sit there going, whose company am I most comfortable with in this group? It's not always the pretty ones who live. Sometimes it's just the person with a warm sort of look to them. You know, and I always think to myself,
So
I wonder,
you just decide like some grand...
just like Hitler, I just sit there. I just sit there going, live, dead, alive. Like, I wipe out whole families because I don't want anyone mourning or crying. Right, so if one of your family goes, you all fucking go.
Yeah, that means every time you want one of the hot daughters, you have to get the whole family then, right?
No, because then she'll, I suppose, keep a hot daughter because she'll need comforting. And I always picture me, it's always going to be like on a snow-crested hill or something, but I only really fly domestically across America. It's not going to be that bad.
Did you see that Liam Neeson movie where they're in the plane?
I've heard it's great. I haven't seen it, but I heard
wolves
it's
chase
good.
him down?
The Grey.
Yeah, it's not bad, man. It's unrealistic, like, because the wolves don't really behave like that, but it's pretty interesting when you hear about people that actually have been killed by wolves. It's a lot more than I thought it was.
What do you mean?
Some chick got killed last year in Alaska by wolves, and I thought, wow, that's probably really rare. I bet that's only happened like once in 100 years.
Sure.
No, it happened a lot. It used to happen a lot. People used to get killed by wolves. It was like a total normal part of life. There's all these documented cases of people killed by wolves.
That's why Peter and the Wolf was such an entertaining program back then.
Yeah, well, the big bad wolf. What is the big bad wolf? Why is that he goes to grandma's house and there's a big bad wolf waiting? Because wolves were fucking real, man. Like, if people lived, especially in parts of Europe, especially in Russia, like, they got wolf problems, man. Wolves are scary. They scare the shit out of me.
Any animal, really.
Yeah, any animal for sure, but wolves.
I get scared from bugs, man. Sometimes they're just disgusting.
We talked about this yesterday.
I had scabies once. That's gross. That'll do your head in.
Scabies.
Oh, my God.
I read about a dude from 1920 or wherever the fuck it was. He was up in Canada trapping, and he killed 4 wolves by shooting them, and then like 8 more by clubbing them to death with his rifle before a rifle butt broke, and then they killed him. God.
Wow.
Damn, are wolves scary?
Bears, though. I've been more
Terrified of wolves.
I've still never seen a bear in the wild.
I have.
I'd like to see that.
I've seen bears. It's interesting.
I want that as a
weird.
ringtone.
It's a weird feeling.
What do you want as a ringtone?
You need to sell that as a ringtone. Fuck this
Scary.
honest shit, man. You sell that for $1,
Wolves
you just
are
made
fucking
$50
scary.
million.
No, not that much. I bet I'd make $20 though. Yeah, wolves scare the shit out of me. That's real.
Whatever.
Wolves are. Yeah. How is that possible that I created whatever? Tom Herrera was crazy. That was the Xanax.
Whatever. Wolves are scary. That's the ringtone.
It's the dubstep remix of whatever. Wolves are scary.
That's awesome.
Powerful Jim Jefferies.
Powerful. That's what you text me. Is this a new thing? Powerful?
Powerful's been around for years.
No, but if you say powerful, or is this what Americans say? Powerful?
I've been saying it for years, and Bert Kreischer says it, and Duncan Trussell says
Everybody
it.
says it.
We all
There's
say
a
it now.
poster over there that says powerful on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
We you know what? It all my friend Larry
I'm going to
used to
say
it.
pretty strong.
I ganked
Pretty
it from my friend Larry. Larry used to say it. It was his. He would say powerful, and he would do a head slap. Powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember Larry?
Was that
Yeah.
Larry from the Three
My-
Stooges?
No.
All my zits on my
He
forehead.
would be like all this too much information's coming in.
I auditioned for that Three Stooges movie, man.
did you really?
Oh, fuck. One of the stupidest. The guy who went in before me was the guy who got it. Like, but to play Mo. And everyone else was in the waiting room in outfits, like really putting effort in. And I hadn't put a lot of effort in. And it was like you had to do one of those slapping type of scenes.
Oh no!
Yeah, all by yourself.
Oh no!
And there's no one there to slap. And it was one of those things where like, you know, like they never tell you that you've done badly, but they also they don't tell you your agent. They go, oh, he was okay, but we're going a different way because they don't want to have that conversation with the needy agent either. And so, but they told my agent that I was woeful, that I was really, really bad.
You were woeful.
I know I was.
You ever use that word, woeful?
No,
But that might have been my phrasing there. But I was pretty bad.
if you don't have anyone to slap, though, does it look like you're just shooing butterflies or something?
I was doing a little bit of like where you act like you're slapping your hand,
okay.
and then like and doing the poking thing.
without knowing to poke.
With no one with me, and just
That's not right.
I'd watched like 2 Stooges films that afternoon just to get me in the mood. I was only meant to watch one, but I kind of enjoyed it, so I watched another one.
You know what you should have done? You should have come on in the audition wearing a complete green suit, one of those green screen suits, and the little balls all over you.
How could they expect you to do that kind of improvisation with no person there?
Well, the guy who got it was the same guy who played Robin Williams in a bio TV show about him, like a NBC midday movie type of thing, right?
So he's like a good impressionist.
He must be a good impressionist. That's all I can tell. But he had the wig and everything. And he was in the waiting room. He was all ready for it.
How weird is it that they're bringing back the Three Stooges, man?
That's officially out of ideas. If they bring back Abbott and Costello, yeah.
Snooki's in the preview. That's what.
yeah, well, at least
kills me.
Abbott.
Is she?
They brought back Abbott and Costello, man. Really? How could you do that? Those were 2 actual people.
I'm going
Well,
to say.
so were the Three Stooges, except they kept on replacing Mo with the other one, Shem or Shelp or whatever.
Yeah, but I always felt like they were characters.
Shelp was a
So I
child
always
molester,
felt like Abbott and Costello,
Abbott
you're
and
saying
Costello,
their name.
you might
Like,
as well
his name
bring-
really wasn't Shemp. That guy's name really wasn't Curly.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
it's
never
like-
going to bring back Lewis and Martin, are you?
Yeah, exactly. That's
Right.
exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, it seems like the characters, you could bring back the character Curly and have another guy play it, maybe, and get away with it.
There was another Stooges pick, wasn't there, where they had the guy from The Shield playing.
Oh God.
Oh, I forgot.
The-
Michael Chiklis played it.
Jesus
and it was
Christ.
it was a mini series, a 3-day mini series, and it was produced by Mel Gibson because he's a big Stooges guy.
That was a great show. The Shield. Whew, that was a.
That was
great
one of
show.
my favorite cop shows, man. The
Oh
Shield.
yeah, it was probably the most realistic cop show ever.
I saw, this is how realistic it was. I saw remember the guy that had like the real sort of weird bug eyes, who was the one who killed his wife and the kid at the end. Like, he's the main character. He's
Yes.
his best mate who kept fucking up and fucking up.
Yeah,
and fucking
yeah,
up.
yeah.
But he's a bit of a psychopath, would just kill people.
Yeah.
I saw him at Whole Foods like 4 days ago, and I got a little chill. Like, I went, I better not go him. He's like, I actually had that. Oh, I wonder what he's in here for. He's probably going to kill someone. That'll suck.
Well, he was a perfect guy for that role too. I mean, he looked like that guy, like a dangerous, thick-looking, crazy fuck cop that would shoot you and make up a story about it and pass a lie detector test. Yeah, he was good, man. That was a good fucking show.
It really is weird though, seeing people that you see on TV in real life though. Like
Oh, yeah.
I saw the guy from Lost the other day at the Ding Dong show. The guy that was also in Lord of the Rings.
The Irish guy.
The Irish guy that
Oh, yeah,
died.
yeah, yeah,
And it's just, I'm just sitting there going, dude, he died. He's
Oh.
a ghost. Charlie's here.
You
Charlie's at the Comedy Store.
You silly bitch.
Yeah, because they all died. Didn't you watch the last episode?
Yeah,
they were all
They're
dead.
all dead. The whole time.
I loved his story arc though. That was a cool story arc.
Yeah.
Him being in that band, getting hooked on smack. It was fun.
Yeah, that was a cool story.
It was a good storyline. It was
And
fun.
he started banging that bird who was the lead out of it. And that was pretty good for him because he was, in real life, because he was a hobbit before that.
Yeah.
And that's a big leap. What's her
That
name?
is a
Lily.
huge leap. Lily.
Yeah, her,
That girl is fucking pretty.
I was a Kate guy. I liked the Kate girl.
Oh, Kate's fucking pretty too.
She got her teeth fixed.
which one was Kate?
What's wrong with her teeth?
I don't know. She had a little gap in them, so she
like a
she got her
little
teeth
gap.
fixed.
Leave that gap.
Yeah,
that
I don't
gap
mind
is
a
pretty,
gap.
girl. Let me kiss that gap.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that gap.
I'm trying to think of hot gapped women throughout
They're all hot, man. I like a little gap. Like it.
Yeah, who's some hot gap women?
Madonna in her day was a hot gapped woman.
I find
Belladonna.
hot chicks with flaws are the best. Hot, but with like one little nagging
Just
weird
like
thing.
like webbed feet.
If you had web feet,
Like
wouldn't
you
get
want,
it
when you say one
circumcised?
nagging thing, you don't want to just be like missing a tit. You want it to be.
If you had web feet, would you separate that shit, or would you
Fuck
just
yeah.
go Aquaman?
I would take pity. I would show it to people. If it was just like one web toe, like a big toe to the next one, just
Right.
on one foot, I would rock it out.
what
but-
is that? What is the web feet about?
I don't know, but what's the
They don't
percentage
fully
of the,
develop
the,
because
the,
the
the
feet
small
are-
Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
The feet are webbed in the womb, and
Right.
that's the last thing that happens to the body, isn't it? The toes separate and the hands
Exactly.
separate. And I think it's just that last little bit didn't happen.
That's interesting.
What's the percentage of the small toe being retarded? Because I have, both of my pinkies are pretty much retarded. Like there's
Your pinkies?
something wrong with it. Or my little toe,
What do you mean?
Well, everyone's little toes
Like mine's
useless.
crooked and it looks like a pigtail, and then like the nail doesn't really grow.
I would
too
tell
much on
you,
it.
let me see, but you told me that you slept in those, so I'm gonna say no.
But like,
I'll have a look at it. Give me a little toe. I always find it weird when you see those girls who keep this, because I don't keep my toenails that well clipped. I imagine I do a fair job, but nothing remarkable. But when you see that girl that's clipped her nail so much that she just has that like little toenail that's not like it's a slither,
Yeah,
like
that's
a
what
millimeter.
that's what mine is.
Yours is,
Yeah.
and then the girl still bothers to paint it.
That's so gross.
She still paints that little bit just over the top.
It's like when you see like
Yeah.
a girl put red lipstick on and she smears it a little or something.
That is kind of weird. That little phantom last toenail.
So you don't have the nail, you just have the slither.
I have the slivers. Sometimes it doesn't even grow.
Do you ever think of
it's-
just taking it off and just being done with it?
Yeah.
What's the use of it? What's the
Yeah.
use of any
What
of
the
your toenails?
fuck is up with these nails, man? That's the weird thing.
Oh, I
These
know.
things that grow.
Well, hand
that you have
nails,
to cut
hand
off.
nails are useless, right? Are
But
useful.
they're useful. They're good for clawing, but they're so weak.
We just don't know how to use them yet.
But your toenails, useless fuckers, and they're stronger than the hand ones.
Do you think that cavemen had like much stronger fingernails? Like,
Sure.
just like if you were jacking things with your nails all the time, would they get thicker? Would they grow
Yeah,
like
of
muscle?
course. No, if you grow them long, they get real thick at the back. When you look at these Guinness Book of Records
Yeah.
stuff, they can't cut them because once they get so long, it joins their blood flow and shit.
Whoa,
Like when they start,
Daddy,
when
what?
they start curling and stuff.
Hold up, son.
Yeah.
It joins your blood flow.
Yeah, I'm talking when they get like.
Yeah.
Like
Because
Guinness
then they
style.
get it there and they start curling and curling.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
curling.
yeah.
And they reckon these people have to have special surgery because they can't just cut them at the base here.
Oh my God.
Because that's become an extension of you. More
Jesus
than just a,
fucking Christ, you're a tree.
yeah.
You're a goddamn nail tree.
Mm.
That's supposed to turn into your trans. Like, what if that was supposed to do that for a reason? Like, you're supposed to grow
Oh
about
my
that big, and it's
God.
supposed to turn into like a time machine.
But
or
that's
something.
that's always the theory of evolution. It's like whenever something new is on the human body, we cut it out. We go,
Right.
we don't know what this is. We're cutting it out. What if this person is just the most evolved person, and
Wow.
like an iPod's growing out of their arm or something?
What if you cut his nails off and then he has like the phantom nail itch? He feels them touching things. And they're not there anymore. And it feels like, like he amputated his hand. That guy had like nerve damage because of that. The guy in the Guinness Book of World
Oh,
Records.
there's a whole lot of them that are into it. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You go to
What the
India, you
fuck
see
is
a lot
that,
of shit
man?
like that. Just India is weird, man. You just see
India's weird?
India's just a weird place. Like there's a lot of people, right? So anytime you get a lot of people, you got a billion people. Think how many weird people in America with 330 million. Go to India, got a billion. It's a lot more weirdness that can carry on.
Yeah, I would
You know?
imagine.
It's like that's why I always think that America gets a bad rap because Australians and British are always going on about how idiotic Americans are. It's just that you get to publicise yours more. Americans aren't any more stupid than the British or Australian.
Yeah, well, there's stupid people all over the world.
All
that's
over the
for
world,
fucking
but
sure.
you have more of them because you just per capita you have more of them.
It might be that, but it also might be this is a country that's lived in prosperity for so long. That there's a lot of soft-minded folks who
I think-
haven't had to question the way things are really running. They haven't had to investigate things. They've sort of sat back and let everything sort of happen. It wasn't until recently, I think, that people are finally starting to realize that you really can't do that. You can't just trust the government because they can't be trusted. They run amok. There's a lot of people though that haven't done that yet.
Don't they reckon that only 40% of all Americans have passports though? That's the one that I always find upsetting.
It's incredible.
I just got my first one
Australians
recently.
would be at least 90% of them have passports because it's an isolated country. But there's a bit of you that goes, well, maybe that's because in America you can go to Disneyland. It's already there. Like we're all coming on holidays over to see your shit. You've already got all your shit, and it's very nice.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a strange country, man. They're all strange. I mean,
George Bush didn't have a
humans are
passport until he
strange.
was president.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Be president.
What was he,
no
like
passport.
50?
Yeah.
Never
he's
had
probably
a
somewhere around
fucking
there.
passport, and he's the most powerful man in the world and never travelled.
He just traveled under different names.
He's a fascinating dude. I would love to drink with George Bush and just find out what the fuck he really thinks about things. Could you imagine?
I have a friend who, and I can't say his name because he's a fairly famous actor. Well, I have a friend who shagged one of his girls.
Oh, Jesus. Dude, you just opened up a can of shit.
Wow.
You just opened up a can of shit. They're going to find you, and they're going to waterboard your ass until you give up that dude.
We're already dead.
For real, man. You can't just come on our show and do that.
I just
We talk a lot of shit.
we know that people have fucked these daughters.
No
of course.
way, dude. That's not what I heard.
I just want to know if he's ticklish.
If he's George W.,
I bet he is. Yeah.
What do you think actually happened to him when he had that black eye and he said he ate a pretzel and choked and blacked out and fell down?
I believe exactly that's what happened. I could see him eating a pretzel and freaking out and tripping.
I think that's what happened as well because you would make up a less idiotic lie.
Right.
I think his dad put a fucking leather glove on
Yeah.
And slapped
and
him.
beat his ass.
While he was eating a pretzel.
Yeah, maybe he started talking some shit like, well, who's the president now? Is it me or you? It used to be you, right? Yeah, but it's me now, right? Yeah, okay, cool. I just want to know. I'm the president, right?
You did one term, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on my second.
Yeah, and this
Yeah.
motherfucker just put on a leather glove.
Tickled him.
And Herbert Walker. George Sr. was the head of the CIA. That dude was no joke. He probably interrogated him. So you got to say he fell on a pretzel.
So did you like either of them?
Pretzel.
Or you both of them? Were
Do I like?
Did you like them? Were they good guys in your mind?
Well, not based on anything they ever did with the world. I mean, I don't know them personally.
I think
would love
George
to
Bush
know.
Jr. would be a cool guy to hang out
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
He just seems like
That's what
he's a
I'm
bit of a
saying.
laugh.
I bet if you could really pick that guy's brain, if you were given access to his memory banks, I bet it would be quite fascinating. Because I bet that's a guy who's just a puppet, just a fucking happy guy who is a guy with part of a big influential family, and I think they just told him what to say, and he went out and said it.
We should
That's
get him
what
on
it
the
looks like to me.
podcast.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
What's he doing now?
I would
Because you
love to
see
find
Clinton
out.
all the time. Clinton's always doing stuff. George hasn't done nothing since he's left.
He's probably watching us on the
Well, Dick
PS3
Cheney
or
just got a
something.
new heart. They just gave him a new heart.
Like the Tin Man.
Yeah, man. He got a heart transplant. Apparently, before that, he had a machine hooked up, like some sort of a pump in his body. So
Like
he
a
didn't have a
pacemaker.
pulse. No, it's more complicated. Whatever it did, he didn't have a pulse anymore. This thing sort of helped him pump the blood. And like if you try to do his pulse, he would have no pulse, but he was alive. What?
Yeah, but why wouldn't you still have a pulse?
No, apparently not.
Because it wasn't pumping in a pulsing way. It was just pumping in a stream.
It was
Do-
like one of
do
those.
Like, you know what I'm
not
saying by that? It wasn't
Yeah,
going through. It was
exactly.
just flowing.
Exactly. I think that's what I would guess, but being an idiot and know nothing about medical science,
I like to think that it's one of those things that I use at a fireplace to put
bellows.
a bellow.
But that would
Yeah,
be
I like it's one of those things that you siphon petrol with.
that
Fuel,
would make
gasoline.
yeah,
Is that what the problem?
Yeah. I guess the pump though is the actual heart muscle working. The pump is the actual heart muscle pushing it out. If the heart muscle's not working and this pump is doing, so is it an artificial heart? Is that what it is? Whatever the fuck it was, he didn't have a pulse because of this thing.
Or he's had a heart
And then
transplant.
they opened him up.
Hearts are weird.
Fuck yeah.
I know. I don't know how they've become synonymous with love.
Scary as
They're,
shit.
they're the
Right.
grossest fucking things.
Well, there's a reason for it, and the reason they recently discovered, and this is just I think within the last couple of years, that there's at least as many neurons in the heart as there are in the brain.
So you're
Something
talking
along
about
those
that,
lines.
You're talking
It's
about
like-
a theory about where someone gets a heart transplant. I've heard these stories before. Someone gets a heart transplant, and then all of a sudden they can speak fucking French.
No,
And
that's
we give too much credit to the brain, and that other organs can do shit.
well, that's I don't know if that's real or not. I don't know if anybody's ever come
I don't
back
think
from
it is.
an organ transplant and given a depiction of the person's life. But if you were going to do it from any organ transplant, I would say the heart's not a bad candidate because of all the neurons in it. See, they don't know where the fuck your memory comes from. Memory is a mystery because every cell in your body is replaced every 7 years. Your cells all get replaced. Like there's a new
I
you
thought they
every
knew the
7
space
years.
that it's stored. Or you're saying
Here's the issue. Those cells, those brain cells, they regenerate. They all of them. What doesn't though is neurons. Neurons apparently you keep for life.
can't you?
They know
can't
like
you
what
drink
part
them away?
of
Can
the
you-
brain hurts. Like if you hurt part of the brain, they know like where memory is stored based on people getting injuries to specific locations of the brain, like how their brain, how they, like they know like frontal lobotomies. They figured that out. They knew like where they could do to zombie you out. They found the right spot Where the dude, by the way, won the fucking Nobel Prize. The guy who made lobotomies won a Nobel Prize. Like, they thought he was awesome. Like, dude, way to go.
Hitler was Times Man of the Year.
You silence these retards. You fucking drill a hole in their head and scoop out their brains.
I always like shock therapy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Too.
Yeah, when you ever see that fucking book. I had a very close relative go through that when they were younger.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, the right down on the rubber stick, and the fucking we're gonna fucking
Oh my
like this whole idea that we're going to kill the psycho out of you with electric, like that's and that was happening right up until the 80s in Australia, shock therapy.
Oh my god!
And that's like so close to when they like bleeding and using leeches in medicine, like to go, oh yeah, we'll just electrocute people.
Well, electricity seems so cool and so powerful. It's like, well, let's just hook them up to that shit, see if it fixes them.
Yeah, this guy's schizophrenic. This will help.
Could you imagine what that must fucking feel like?
And fighting it because you're already a bit mental, and then the nurse is holding you down.
Oh my god!
Like, when you think about doing this, how did it start off? Did they do it on mice first, and then we're like, "Wow, that mouse is crazy," and then they shock and it's like, "Oh, it's not moving around much anymore."
That one's a lot more docile.
She blinded me with. That's funny. Yeah, how did they figure that out? Some crazy asshole.
They started on humans. It just doesn't seem right.
Like the same Nobel Prize winning asshole scrambling people's fucking
But when we
brains.
look back, like, because bleeding has got to be the most stupid of them all, right? When you're really sick,
Yeah.
they cut all your blood out and dripped it into bowls because they thought they were getting, when you needed your blood more than ever,
God.
right?
Yeah.
Are we going to, in 50 years, go, they used to give these kids that couldn't breathe, these little puffers, that made it worse and gave them, is there going to be things from now that we're going to look back at and go, that was fucking madness? Well, chemotherapy seemed like madness.
There'll be you know what'll seem like madness? Prescription drug abuse. When they find out how many different people are hooked on all sorts of different painkillers.
So that's a real American thing. I'd never, in Britain, it's where I've taken most of my drugs. No, I never met anyone that I never knew what an Oxycontin was until a couple of years ago.
Maybe your government is better at filtering the stuff and doesn't. Socialized medicine. That's that's difference right there. It's probably not as easy to get. See, in America, it's real easy to get that stuff. All you have to do is be injured. The pharmaceutical drugs are, really, they've helped a lot of people. A lot of people have benefited for sure from discoveries that, have kept people alive that would have been dead. A lot of like really cool things have been discovered, but there's also a lot of money in pharmaceutical drugs.
Sure.
And whenever there's a lot of money in something, and that something just happens to be addictive, and then the money starts pouring in, well, they get addicted to that money. You can't tell a pharmaceutical company that loses 8,000-10,000 people a year to whatever the fuck they're selling. You can't tell them that you can't sell that stuff anymore. You got to stop.
Everyone in America has this little thing, like we obviously with our jobs fly a lot, and whenever I get on a plane, like I speak to my management or agents or something, I go, oh fuck, I don't want to do this flight. I can't sleep on planes. They always just take a Xanax. Easy, just take a Xanax. And they say it so blasé, like you're like, no, it's. And then you think, these are what these people are doing just when they're home in bed and they're tossing and turning a little bit. Sometimes it's just fucking hard to go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
I had Xanax this week.
Yeah, Xanax. Dom Herrera went off about Xanax. He's been taking it for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
He's talking about it on his
And he likes it?
I don't think so. Didn't sound like he liked it. Sounded like he needed it. Sounded like he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Saying. Yeah, no, I get completely what you're saying.
Yeah. There's a lot of people on that stuff, though. It's real common, strange.
Well, that's how Heath Ledger and all that. They reckon Heath Ledger never was a recreational drug taker at all.
Really?
But he just got really into, like, I need my sleep.
Well, there's a lot of people
working on sets long fucking days.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that, those movie star dudes. It seems like an easy life, but when you're on a set, you might have to work 16 hours in a day, and you have to put out all that energy. A lot of them get sick. A lot of them need B12 shots. You know? It's not easy, man. Especially when you're acting at that level. That guy was a bad motherfucker.
He was a good actor.
Made out with a dude.
Yeah, well,
strong.
Yeah,
they went at it strong.
Have you seen Life's Too Short yet?
Did I see what?
Life's Too Short, the new Ricky Gervais TV show?
No.
It's just a show about dwarfs. It's funny. It's a sitcom about dwarfs on HBO, but if you haven't seen it, I won't
That's
reference it. Basically, they make a whole lot of dwarfs go through famous scenes in movie history, and there's a Brokeback Mountain, which is just funny to watch with two English dwarfs going, "I'm definitely gay." Oh, my word, I'm enjoying this. But if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to talk about it.
I haven't seen it.
It's on at the moment. It's very good.
What was that video you were showing me earlier of, from the Bone Zone of those dudes kissing each other? How did people find that?
Oh yeah, if you go on YouTube, it's Randy Lidke and Davey Johnson, and the video is called "An Intimate Moment on the Bone Zone," and that's just from one of the podcasts we do at Death Squad.
Yeah,
And
Brendan Walsh, who is, I think he's in, where is he at? Somewhere, Seattle or something this week?
Oh yeah, he's somewhere.
Vancouver.
I should know
some
this.
shit.
Oh yeah, I think it's
because he asked me to tweet it. But he's got a podcast on Death Squad, and it's called The Bone Zone. He's a fucking funny dude. So anything he's doing,
yeah. So there's a kissing
sure
scene.
it's
Two guys
hilarious.
kiss in every episode, and so it's really funny though. They're really funny guys.
Seattle. Yeah, Seattle, folks. He's in Vancouver tonight and tomorrow too. So look on BrendanWalsh.com.
Oh,
There you go, Brendan. I gave you a plug, you fuck.
check this out. I asked Don Barris has been locked out of his own Facebook account for 4 days.
Okay.
A hacker.
But we were just saying some nice things about Brendan Walsh. Why have to go negative?
Oh, I just no.
Trying to,
So what is the
trying to
hacker
get people to
going
go out
on?
and see Brendan Walsh.
No, but
Brendan Walsh is hilarious, isn't he?
Yeah.
Brian, shouldn't people go see him?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought we were past that.
I don't really know him, but he sounds very funny.
But somebody took his fucking Facebook account and changed all his email
Yeah.
and stuff, and now he can't get back into it, and Facebook won't help him at all. So like now there's just somebody looking at all his shit, looking at all his photos, and
Does he
it's,
have an ex-girlfriend that hates him?
no, somebody hacked his shit.
Everyone's
Does he
got
have,
one of those.
Yeah. Well,
No one's-
maybe. Does he have enemies or people?
You know all that shit he does with Scary Perry and all the that
Yeah.
shit like that. That there might be people that are against that or something.
Yeah, if you don't know, they did a movie. What is the name of that
Windy
movie?
City Heat. Did-
Oh, I love this movie.
Yeah.
yeah, with
Yeah,
Kimmel.
yeah, I love that film.
Yeah, he's-
Don Barris is a part of that.
Apparently,
some
there
people-
is. It does get cruel at moments, and then you just have to remember that guy's a bit of an asshole.
Yeah, he's a weird guy to be around. That's for sure. But I mean, wow, they took it deep. I mean, they made a movie about this guy being famous, and he
Yeah.
really believed it. I mean, to me, that's like a part of that is like you're picking on mental illness. It's clearly there's a disconnect between this guy and reality. Like it's funny, sorta. But man, you're talking about like the ultimate, the joke's on you. That's you're picking on a crazy person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but one thing it might that's different than that argument is that the crazy people all want to be comics or actors, so they know what they're doing.
Well, so that's the thing is we've done Opie and Anthony together a fair bit,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
And every time I do it, one of their, I won't say retards, one of their crazies that are on the show, sometimes I go home feeling a little bit down about it, and then I remember that they love it. That's their lives. They've got a level of fame. They go to these conventions or whatever, when Opie and Anthony do things on the road, and they get big round of applauses, and for them it's very exciting. But it is just picking on a mentally ill person.
Yeah, but I think there's a way to do it and a way not to do it. you
Don
know?
does it right. Like one of the guys is a schizophrenic surfer guy, and I used to do open mics with this guy, and he's schizophrenic and he's really hardcore schizophrenic. But he would do like an act, and then like afterwards, I would always try to talk to him, but he would like look past me, and it was
Now,
really weird.
what does schizophrenic entail? What has to be wrong with you?
I don't know.
Schizophrenic's
Exactly.
two personalities, right?
I don't know. He's just
What's
really.
that
out of
one?
it seems like
That's not bipolar is not two
No,
personalities.
bipolar is not. Bipolar is
uh,
depression. It's being up,
yeah.
it's being down.
Right.
Schizophrenia is you start believing you're someone else.
Is that
you
what it
go
is?
in and out of different
Yeah.
personalities.
Yeah, sometimes you can talk to him, other times he just looks past you, and plus the fact that he smokes weed on top of that is kind of like really weird. But he's a real nice guy. But as an example, I used to do open mics with him, and now he's fucking loving doing the Ding Dong show. It's
Okay,
great
this
for him.
it makes it difficult to tell the difference between real and unreal experiences. Think logically, have normal emotional responses, behave normally in social situations.
Yep.
Huh.
So what's the dual personality one?
Well, you can. I think there's. well, there's people that don't believe in multiple personality disorder. They think it's horseshit. There are people that think it's horseshit.
Yeah.
They just want attention.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I mean,
I've
you
got-
ever
I've
met
got-
anybody that was a
I've,
real
I've got a
legit-
friend, and he's a good friend of mine, so I won't say his name, but I have a friend of mine who says that he had a split personality, but it was just whenever he acted like an asshole, that was such and such just came out. And you're like, no, you were just an asshole. You can't just say that you're you when you're good.
Yeah.
You're you when you're bad as well.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Some people have it, I guess. Dissociative identity disorder. They're saying it's real.
Well, but there's people who actually change their name, and I'm Candy now, and I have a dog.
Yeah, well, you know who did that was the dude Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker apparently had like some serious problems
Who's
with
Herschel Walker?
he's a famous football player
Right.
who's an older guy, and he's now competing in MMA. He's
Right.
when in his time he was like one of the greatest football players of all time, a ridiculous athlete, and now he's 48 years old, shredded, just destroying people in mixed martial arts fights, and that was his background.
There's a kid from Australia who got signed up to, I think, one of the big NFL teams yesterday, and never held an American football.
That's amazing.
He played rugby, but they just made him do all the tackling stuff, and then statistically he was off the chart.
Wow.
Straight into the NFL, never touched the ball.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NFL wants super athletes.
Yeah, he's like one of these 6'8", just powerhouse type of blokes, you know.
Jesus fucking Christ. There's some people, and you get around them, you can't believe that's a real person. That's a person too. Like, I'm the same as that person. We're the same species. Like Shaq. You ever meet Shaq?
There's a guy in New Zealand called Jonah Lomu, who's fairly well portrayed in that movie Vindictus or whatever about the Rugby World Cup. But that's the biggest cunt I've ever seen.
What is that? What's that movie?
The one with Matt Damon and fucking
Okay, yeah.
Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. I didn't see
Morgan
that.
Freeman.
Was that good?
That was pretty good, man. He did a fucking excellent Nelson Mandela.
Really?
I like South Africa. You ever gigged out there?
No.
Man, I'll hook you up with this guy, man. He
Like
takes
it?
big act. Yeah, it's fucking great, man.
Is
The
it?
people are awesome. The food's outstanding.
Really?
You just can't walk the streets, right? It's just one of these things where it's barbed wire fences and shit everywhere.
Jesus.
But
how dangerous is it?
You lock your guns up in lockers when you're going to the casino, and you'll see like everyone pulling their gun out and just.
Oh my God.
But you just don't go through the townships, and you don't try not to have sex with anyone for a couple of weeks. That's about. You know what I mean? It's Africa's Africa.
Or
right?
go
There was
to
a
Hawaii.
story. Yeah, Hawaii sounds better. There was a story about a guy who took his girlfriend to Africa and arranged for her to be kidnapped, and they kidnapped her and killed her. Crazy fucking story, man. That he got down there and he convinced someone to kidnap her. And he was like gonna get the ransom money from like her parents
Sure.
or something like that, and they just fucking killed her.
Yeah, no ransom money for death. That's
Yeah.
silly. It's silly kidnapping.
That's the one story. The other story is that he had her killed. That he wanted to move on to some new girl, so he had her killed, which is even fucking crazy.
yeah, just
That's
break
right.
up with her, mate. How hard
Yeah.
can it be? You know.
Some dudes just get deep. They just get deep into it. They gotta get out. I gotta get out now.
Yeah.
The only way is for her to die.
But you can see lions and tigers out there. It's pretty exciting.
What a fucked up thing to do, man. Hire someone to kidnap your chick.
I always loved it though when you see those news stories. And it's happened to us so many times when we watch news stories where some mum's like, we were driving along and this black man with tattoos just opened the door and stole my car with my child in it. And then you go, that car's going to end up in the swamp, and you put them in the seatbelt, and this is going to be awesome, right? But now it makes you suspicious of every person who ever cries on TV. You always watch them going, yeah, you're a killer. I always go straight for,
Well, when you find out that they are, it is the weirdest feeling in the world. Like
especially if you've been supporting them. If you've been
Oh,
going,
yeah.
that poor lady. If you feel cheated as the public, you're like,
how many times have women been busted doing that where they didn't know that they were guilty and then they caught them?
in America a couple of times, but there's a
7.
there's a case in the UK which has been going on for fucking everyone. What's that? Maddie. Anyway, very very famous case in the UK where this couple went on holiday in Portugal. They were in a resort type thing. They left the kid. Madeline McCain was the name of the little girl. And so they left Madeline McCain in this room. They went off and had dinner like 50 meters away. She was 5 years old. They just left her there sleeping. When they got back, she was gone, right? Now, the case has never been opened, but people are still of the opinion that maybe they did it, right? Maybe they, but no one can prove that. And then they're like, maybe some pedophile did it, maybe some whatever did it. But it's a real big case. Like, to the extent that last time I went back to Britain, they had pictures of her 5 years on, computer generated what she'd look like now. So to keep looking for her, like the parents are still like putting this.
It's just so creepy when they do that.
Yeah.
A fake person.
I used to do a joke that went, "How long are we going to keep this going for?" Okay, I hope another 6 years so we can get that hot picture of when she's 16.
Yeah, they start making her like have like thongs on and like really sexy.
This is how she'd look now.
Most likely with a collar on her neck.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked.
And why don't they just put a realistic picture of just some bones covered with cum?
Oh no. Oh no.
Fun. It's fun
Powerful Jim
being
Jefferies.
a comedian. Fun, isn't
It is. Yeah, you can never do that in any other job and be like, that
You'd
was
be
excellent.
fired.
Yeah.
We sat back and we were like,
Kiko's.
wow, can't believe you did that, but that's pretty fucking funny. You would get in trouble if you were in upper management somewhere, and you said that at a board meeting.
My brother.
Could you imagine someone pass the milk and you hold up this thing? Was this a fucking real thing? Can you imagine, shouldn't this be a pile of bones and cum? And everybody just silence.
Or if you're an advertising guy and you just came in with a poster of that. My brother's quite a successful business type guy. I couldn't tell you quite what he does, but he was entertaining clients on a boat.
Like an escort?
They were trying to very similar to that. So he was entertaining clients on a boat, like people he was trying to get money out of it. He developed shopping centers and stuff, right? So he had this boat, and this was years, this is early on in my career, and I had like a CD out, my first CD, and my brother just had it, and he goes, everyone wasn't really getting along, so I thought I'd put your CD on and see if we could pick the mood up of the group. He goes, you started with a Down syndrome joke. The fucking guy's kid had Down syndrome, and we're stuck in Sydney Harbour and we couldn't go back. And he was yelling at me like I fucked his deal up. I'm thinking, you don't have to put my CD on. No one asked you to put it on. Not much of a story.
But it's what we got. It's what we got. We got to work with it. So I guess this is actually kind of disputed, this multiple personality disorder. Some people think it's bullshit, but a lot of people think it's legit.
You know that's the one person doing that?
Maybe, right?
They're all,
Imagine?
they're all
It's all
typing in under their different personalities. This is bullshit. I don't know.
I think Herschel Walker thought it was trauma-induced from the years of football, which is totally crazy, and now he's fighting. It's like, wow. Like,
What, you're saying that he's punch drunk and that's what
well,
happened?
not necessarily punch drunk. He talks fine. He seems to think fine too. But a lot of people believe that you could get a lot of things wrong with your brain from repeated trauma. And the kind of trauma they have on football is like, these guys are running at each other and clashing heads and shit and head to fucking knees. And there's some serious impact that these guys are withstanding. And a lot of them get fucked up because of it. I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying, was that it was a trauma-related multiple personality disorder.
That's the same as Muhammad Ali. People will still go, we're not sure.
Oh, you're sure? They're sure. If they're not sure, they're silly.
But it's the same as like Richard Pryor and Dudley Moore both took a lot of cocaine in their days. And then they had this extraordinarily rare nerve disorder. It wasn't just Parkinson's, it was like a rare strain of it. Mm-hmm. And the people still go, we don't quite know how this happened. And it's like, I think I know.
Yeah, I know another person who did the exact same thing and has the exact same problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's super, super common, man.
Well, Dudley Moore kept it secret for years, and everyone, because they thought he was just a drunk, but he was then given up acting and thing. He used to go out as a concert pianist because he was a really good pianist, and he used to get halfway. He used to get halfway through a song, and then just sort of down the microphone, everyone going, "Oh, Dudley's drunk again." He wasn't drunk; he was just fucking heavily diseased.
Wow.
Towards the last 3 or 4 years of his career, no one knew.
Wow, that's incredible.
Remember that show? That's incredible.
Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
That was a good show.
that was a
Yeah.
good show.
Was it?
Yeah.
No.
Back
If
in
you
the
watch
day,
it today,
was.
would you buy a DVD?
It'd probably be awesome now.
If it came out at Best Buy, if you went to Best Buy and saw that's incredible DVD collection.
It
would
depends
you
how
buy
much it was.
I would buy it just to see what a time traveling device it
Right.
would be.
I bought The Greatest
know?
American Hero, or I got The Greatest American Hero on Netflix the other day because I just liked it so much as a kid, and now I watched it. I just like the theme song.
Yeah, is it like that? Because I remember as a kid, I really loved that show.
The flying is so like.
So stupid.
That noise is so stupid that I can't believe I was ever fooled or ever amazed by
it's
it.
like time travel. You can go back and see what amused you when you were little and be baffled.
Well, this is the whole theory on why kids should see gentle porn because
Gentle.
you know what I mean. Because I grew up with finding a Playboy magazine and then just batting off to it until I found another magazine that was kids today are going straight to internet. They're going to be fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Do Australian guys find their magazines in the woods as well?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, in the bush we find them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that incredible?
And I always used to think that some adults hidden it here, but I look back at it. No, just some other kid hid it there in
It's
the
a
bush.
part of the simulation.
Yeah.
It was programmed that way.
Yeah, it's almost like it grew there. You're supposed to find it.
I
it's native to that environment.
I remember masturbating so young. I was about 7 years old,
7.
and I found this picture. My mother was the only woman in the house. I went through one of her magazines. So we didn't have underwear catalogs sitting around like a Victoria's Secret catalog or something like that would have been good. But I found this picture in my mum's women's magazine. It was just a naked tit in it. And this magazine never had a naked tit in it before, right? So I cut this picture out. I masturbated to this picture from about 7 till 10.
Just
right?
one tit.
Just this one tit, right? And I found out at 10, because I was watching the news, it was a picture of a woman having a mammogram.
Whoa.
Yeah, but I didn't know as a kid, and I used to think because the other tit was in a machine being squeezed down, and I was like, that must be some sex machine.
It's amazing that kept your interest for so long.
Yeah, I stole the lingerie thing out of the Sears catalog from my friend's mom's Sears catalog, and I used to keep it and I put it in my books and hide it in a book and pull it out and look at it and masturbate and shit.
I remember
the lingerie, in the catalogs, the old catalogs when you used to have catalogs.
I remember there being. I used
Yes.
to buy porn on video, and then when I went to university, and I was like 22 or something like that. They used to keep on sending me the catalogs because I bought a couple of videos years ago, and I used to keep them, and they were just like little pictures of scenes from the movies they were trying to. I never bought anything, but the catalogs once a month, that was a big day, and it was free, and I was broke. I was fucking happy to have that. I always used to keep my roommate one catalog behind, so he would get the new month's one after I got my new month's one. And
It's funny that what you would want then to see naked girls, to look at naked girls, that people would deny that of you. They say you're not ready for that yet. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's about protecting kids. But clearly you have these sexual crazy urges, and everyone's just in denial about it. Nope, you're only 16. You can't buy a Playboy. You can't even buy a Playboy when you're 16. You can't even just let me see a little titty. I don't even need to see a vagina.
Yeah.
Can I just see a leg?
But
a
they
sexy
put it
leg?
in movies when you're 16. So I've got to commend Britain.
No, but you have to go with the person.
On page 3 of the newspapers, there's a topless girl.
Yeah.
Just
good.
in the normal
Always,
newspaper.
right? Yeah.
That's good.
But 16-year-olds can't go to the movies that show tits. Tits is not
You
PG.
can. Something like Porky's has a bit of tit in it.
Isn't Porky's
yeah.
R? Wouldn't Porky's be R?
I think back then it was.
We in Australia call it M, which is 16 and up.
Yeah, maybe that is R. Yeah. It was R.
Mature.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, but we
that's
have
what
R.
you
We
have.
have R as
Yeah.
well. But mature's 16.
think R
Then
is-
R's 18.
There's 17, I think, is R. Isn't that it? And NC-17 is for you. No matter what, you can't even go with an adult unless you're 17.
My father's so deprived of being able to see tits, because my mum's such a big hefty woman, and he just, but he's still like a horny sort of bloke, my dad, right? So when we were kids, if me and my two brothers were sitting watching, let's say the movie Labyrinth, we were watching like a very innocent puppet related film. All at once during the film, and he'd be other in the house, we'd all go, "Oh, there! Look at those tits! Whoa!" Within seconds, my dad would just casually walk out and sit and watch the rest of the film with us. He'd come out and go, "What are you watching?" Like this. He'd go all the way through the film, and then he'd go, Yeah. I might watch the beginning of that film. I missed what happened in the beginning.
You had trolled him. You had Oh, that's hilarious. And you let him sit through the whole movie?
Yeah. So we'd all go off and play, and then he'd have to sit through the first 30 minutes again.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
Just in the hope, because it was going to come. It's going to happen.
You guys should have filmed that. That would make a hilarious short film.
Yeah.
Just explain it. And have them there with a time code.
Oh, we could
search it.
We could still do it now.
You should
to
still
this,
do
to
it.
this day.
Oh my dude, I could see it. It's filmed. The light of the TV is what's on him, right? A little time code in the bottom. Show him 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later. Look at us. That could be hilarious. It could be hilarious if you explain it to the camera.
He found some porn magazines. I do a routine on this, but he found some porn magazines under my mother found some porn magazines under my bed, and she put them in the bin, because that's like, I don't know, you put them in the bin. And then she didn't say anything to me. She just let me off scot-free on it. She didn't get angry or anything, so I felt like I got away with it. But my porn drawer was empty, right? And I worked at a news agency, so I used to collect them from the bins out the back of the news agency. So I had piles and piles of them. I was a paper boy, right? So I was in my dad's workbench, and I was hammering a nail down. I look under the bench, and there's all my porn magazines, but they're all dog-eared, and they're like lettuce leaf on them and stuff. Because what happened was my dad's got to take the bin to the end of the driveway on a Wednesday.
Right. He
He opened the garbage bin, saw all the porn. He recovered it all and took it off to his shed where he could masturbate. So I collected it all back up, and I took it back to my drawer just because, the circle of life, right? And my dad comes, I'm in the living room, he comes out and goes, Jim, he goes, were you in my garage? And I said, and I go, yeah. And he goes, you know, I have those magazines. And I went, neither are you. And I was about 13 at this stage. I said, neither are you. And he went, can I have 4? Right? And there was an actual moment where I start with my dad, and I had a debate when I was 13 over, all right, you can have a Hustler, a Penthouse, a Playboy,
Brian,
to
where's
this-
your phone?
It's not my phone. Is your phone?
Brian, you can't leave your phone by that thing. How many times do we have to tell you? Get that crazy zappity zap shit.
That
in my
makes
head.
airplanes crash, man. That
Yeah,
noise.
man. You can't leave that shit right by the MP3 player while you're getting texts.
Would you rather kiss Nancy Reagan on the lips or the tit?
How old is she?
Right now.
Oh, tit, definitely. No, lips.
Lips?
Lips. I don't want to suck on an old lady's titty, like a really old, what is she, 89 or something?
I don't know. But you could either say you kissed her on the boob or in the lips.
No, I'd give
How about
her.
you not tell anybody?
I'd give her.
Keep that shit to yourself.
I'd give her a respectful kiss on the mouth.
Yeah, me too.
Respectful.
Yeah, a nice. Well, you look very nice today, Nancy.
I would also.
Sorry, your husband's dead.
I tweeted to Deepak Chopra today. I rarely do, but sometimes that dude says shit that's so ridiculous, I want to tweet back to him. He goes, when you reach pure awareness, you will have no problems. Therefore, there will be no need for solutions. And I wrote back, if you reach pure awareness and someone kicks you in the balls, you still have problems.
That is true.
And that's a fact.
It is
You-
bad.
you
When you
could-
put shit like that on Twitter, someone's going to want to kick
Who's
you in the balls.
Dubop Chupa?
Deepak Chopra, bro.
Who's that?
How dare you?
Philosophy type.
How
of
dare
guy.
you? How dare you? He's some Indian dude. He's like some guru type character.
But see, that's exactly what you say. So you can reach pure awareness, but your wife still has cancer, say. You know what I mean? But you can be completely aware of it, but that doesn't mean the problem's gone.
Well, he's saying you have no problems.
Yeah, I say he's full of shit there.
Yeah. Pure awareness, you will have no problems. That shit's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You can't just do what you want to do. You have to take care of things that are going. Your fucking roof has a hole in it. Guess what, bitch? You got a problem.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck what you tell me. That's a problem. You got to get that shit fixed.
Not
You can't
just,
ignore
being
it.
aware of it actually
Yeah.
makes the problem worse if
can't
you're
just-
doing nothing.
Well, I will meditate under the dripping water. Fuck you. Go get that shit fixed. You're ruining your house, dummy. You got a problem. Face it, Deep Rock. You're talking nonsense, goddammit. That's the problem I have with all these dudes. They talk a lot of hippie nonsense. They say a lot of shit that they think that women who just hit menopause want to hear. When they really start getting into yoga and just try to find the light and try to find happiness and get into flowers, raising flowers. That's when he comes in. A guy like that can just swoop in on that I want to be happy market and just start ping-ponging it back and forth with all these nonsense sentences. When you reach pure awareness, you'll have no problems. Bitch, stop with that.
Unfollow that guy.
No, I will not. I want to hear more craziness.
Yeah.
This is a really funny moment on YouTube where he got some guy who was writing a physics book with Stephen Hawking's, like was correcting the things that he was saying. The guy was like you're saying things that don't make sense to me.
Well, they were correcting Stephen Hawking's?
No. The guy who was writing a book with Stephen Hawking's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Deepak Chopra was trying to explain something to him, like quantum this and quantum that. And so the guy goes, yeah, I know what all those words mean, but I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Because he's not really saying anything. He's just fucking, man, the infinite, the impossible, the consciousness of the quantum consciousness. He could just say things like that, and you just leave it up to what? Well, I guess in some sort of a broad sense, he might have made a sentence there.
Yeah.
And there might be like some point that he has that I can't quite grasp. But much more likely, it's word salad that's designed to sound spiritual.
Word salad.
That's what it is. He threw a bunch of cool words together, and this guy called him on it. This guy was like, it was so brilliant the way the guy said it. Yeah, I know what all those words mean. I'm not making that up the way that guy talks. You guys don't know who he is?
No.
I know who he is.
Do you know who he is?
He was killed by Tupac, by Biggie.
Biggie, yeah.
Yeah, Biggie killed him.
Biggie killed him.
My joke would have worked better if I didn't say Tupac.
Said the guy's name.
I fucked it up completely.
It was Suge Knight anyway. Both of them supposedly. That's
Hey,
the
can I
resistance to
plug
Rolling
my
Stone.
gig tonight?
Fuck
Because
yeah.
it's going to happen in 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm at the Canyon Club in
Agora Hills.
Agora Hills. So come on down. Starts in 2 hours.
It's a great place too.
Go to the barbecue place first.
It's what time is your show there? It's almost 7.
I think it's like, is it an 8 o'clock start, is it? Oh, right.
Well,
Oh,
the show starts when you get there, son.
yeah, that's
Let 'em know who's
there's
running shit.
there's one of my favorite comics in the UK, Canadian comic, Tom Stade. Check him out. Really, really fucking funny guy.
He's opening for you?
No. He's just a guy who still lives in Britain. But he once said that he was, when I was a young comic, and I was in a car with him, we were going to a gig, and I said, fuck, we're not going to make it. We're late for the gig. And he went, we are the gig. And that stuck with me.
Yeah, that's what it's up. Yeah, I've been in many times where we were really close to being late for shows. Ari in particular would get very nervous. When Duncan would have to open, fuck man, I gotta just drop me off in front, don't even park. I'm like, dude, it's 8:05. We're good. So the show's 5 minutes late. Who gives a fuck? If they're really mad, like the audience gonna be mad. What kind of asshole would be upset at a show starting 5 minutes late? Things happen.
I tell you what,
Relax.
I went and saw Billy Joel in concert, which is how all good stories start. Right? I went and saw Billy Joel in concert in Sheffield in the north of England. And I was in the 3rd row. I got the tickets rather late, but I don't think he's popular in Sheffield. Anyway, so this woman looks at her watch in front. She's sitting next to her husband. And she's just got the shits, right? It's like 10 past 8. The show's meant to start at 8.
Right.
And she went, this is fucking bullshit, right? And the husband's gone, yeah, don't worry, it'll be fine. And she said, no, we got here on time. He should get here on time as well. And I thought, oh, maybe they're missing a friend, right? She goes over and speaks to the security guy, going, when's this going to start? With 10 past 8, 10 minutes late.
Wow.
And the security guy's just like, fuck off. Because he doesn't care, you know what I mean? And then Billy Joel comes out, 15 minutes late probably, right? Which is normal time. And Billy Joel comes out, and then the whole audience stands up, and she just sits there and yells out, I paid for a seat. And then that husband was just dragged away. And I still think to this day that's the biggest cunt I've ever seen.
Wow.
And I've only seen about 5 sentences for it. I felt like grabbing that guy going, just get out of this. Leave.
Run.
You don't need this woman anymore. She's horrible.
That's the worst you've ever seen? Really? It was that bad?
It just in just a short amount of time where I thought this person's just evil to the core. Yeah, intolerable.
Some people don't even realize how intolerable they are. But I would think that after shows, you see a lot of those, right?
Yeah, you do photos after gigs, do you?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
always.
you ever get that person who just wants to like headlock you or something?
Yes. A guy asked me if he can carry me.
Yeah. Oh, I've had that one. Can I hold you?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Guys are always asking to choke me. That's normal. Because a lot of jiu-jitsu guys come to shows, they're like, can I get you in a rear naked? But I don't trust anybody, man.
Yeah.
Can't just get my back like that, son.
Yeah. No, I don't get that as much.
Dudes will ask all sorts of weird shit. One guy asked me to bend over in front of him in Louisville. He goes, will you bend over in front? And I'll make it like I'm spanking you. I go, what? He goes, I'm going to be behind you. You're going to bend over and make like I'm spanking you. I go, do you really think that anybody would say yes to that? Any person you don't know would say, yeah, go ahead. I'll bend over like you're having sex with me? Like that kind of bend over?
What?
Oh, yeah, please.
How many times have you taken a photo with a person after a gig and you put I did the arm around and the smile and the point to the face maybe.
Right.
I got a few poses that I have down. The serious one, the happy one, the good, yeah.
Right.
So how many times have you like put your arm around a couple of girls and then one of them just grabs your cock? Right?
It does happen.
Yeah, they just grab your cock and like as soon as the photo happens, it goes honk on it like that because they want to have the cool photo. And you sort of go, thanks.
It's more ass grab.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, yeah, thanks for that. But imagine if a male act did that to a female act. Just grabbed a tit, just
Oh,
in
yeah.
a photo.
You would be grab her pussy.
Yeah. Just went bang, finger,
Grab
bang.
a tit would be like grabbing a guy's ass. Right?
Yeah.
That would be the same, would it?
Yeah,
not really.
no. Grabbing a girl's ass is like grabbing a guy's ass.
Yeah, I think if a girl grabs my dick, I'll automatically just start fingering her pussy
Yeah,
through
but
her
see,
pants.
this is
I
the thing.
always
is
think
you-
that a guy
the
grabbing a
women that have
girl's
this
ass.
confidence are normally like a big Jersey chick with like, these aren't, where you're like, ooh. fuck
I
you.
always feel that grabbing a girl's ass is way worse than a girl grabbing a guy's ass because it's not like she can rape you. A guy grabbing
Yeah,
a
but
girl's ass is a physical
I'm not a good
thing.
fighter. You're a good fighter.
You think a lot of girls could rape you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, plenty. Plenty.
Tons.
No, I
It's
think.
happened several times.
I almost got raped last night, actually.
How dare you, bro?
No, I swear to God.
Stop lying.
Yeah.
There was this girl that was at the comedy store. There's tons of witnesses of this. She comes up to me and she's talking to me and she goes, "Oh, you're a bartender too?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not a bartender." And then we did a shot though, and then she just fucking comes in and tries to kiss me, and I'm like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And she's like, "I just got out of rehab 3 days ago. I'm not supposed to be drinking right now. I was raped when I was a kid," and just started going off on like a million things.
now you're
and then I'm
dating.
like,
So
"What?"
you're hooked.
So 3 days out of rehab, she's already drunk again.
Is she in your favorites yet?
No. I hid. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom, and I
You hid?
ran in the main room.
I'm still creeped out by his American voice. That's all I was thinking.
What'd you
The
do
whole
it
time,
again?
I was like, this story's not going to have any punchline. You're not going to pay this off. She's not going to rape you. She didn't rape you, man. She didn't rape you at all.
No, she tried to though.
But you were implying.
All she did was give you a kiss.
No, the whole time she was like trying to like grab.
You do know what sex is and rape is, right?
What's it?
Yeah, it's more than
Well,
kissing.
I mean, not rape.
Yeah.
She's not trying to throw me on the ground and rape me, but there's definitely a
Well,
difference
that,
between
rape,
like.
rape. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying real rape.
Yeah. Diet rape.
Like
I just think it's way creepier when a dude grabs a girl's ass. It's physical.
Yeah, of
Guys
course. No,
is
of course
saying,
there
"I'm
is
gonna
a
grab your
certain.
ass, and you can't do anything about it. And if I wanted to rape you, I probably could get away with it if there was nobody around. That's what a guy's saying when he grabs a girl.
I'm trying to think through my mind if I've ever like pinched a girl that I haven't known quite well's ass as they walk by.
I don't think
If you're a person and you're like you don't even know this other person, and you just reach over and grab a girl's ass and squeeze it like that, that's like a big violation. That's like a big violation of space, man. Imagine if that was your sister or your daughter. Imagine if you watched someone do that to your daughter, reach over and grab your daughter's ass. That's what a
Wow.
nasty fucking violation that is. And you don't think
Although
about it because to you it's not a guy's daughter, it's some hot 20-year-old. But meanwhile, behind her is her fucking dad, and you reach over and grab her ass. That shit happens. That's a creepy moment for people, man. When you realize what it is when someone just reaches over and grabs you when you don't know them.
I don't have a daughter, so right now it's kind of hot. If I imagine my sister or my daughter being really hot, and some guy just grabbing it slowly.
It's kind of hot.
I'll tell you what,
have a daughter.
I don't have a child either, so you can imagine grabbing my daughter's ass.
Yeah.
Fine. Just whatever she want to make it look like, I'm
As
fine with
long
it.
as it's imaginary, Brian. But
My
don't let it
daughter
get
on
carried
your head
away.
if you want to.
So what we have is my daughter and your daughter, right? They're
sister.
making out. They're
Sister.
making out now, the two of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, oh
Listen,
yeah, that's hot.
You guys are gonna get this closed down twice in one day.
Hey, our daughters are making out.
Anti-government talk, pedophilia.
And my daughter has a touch of the
encouragement.
accent, but not quite because she lived here. But we take her on holidays.
My
so
data-
she's saying-
my daughter
You
has a
guys
yeast
are going
infection.
too deep.
Oh, she
You
has
guys
a
are
yeast
going too
infection.
deep.
I don't want
Stop
your
it,
daughter
stop
near
it,
my
stop it,
daughter.
Stop it. We're going to lose sponsors. We're going to lose viewers. People are going to commit suicide. You guys are having your artificial, fake, fictional daughters engage in immoral and illegal things. And I
My
can't
daughter's
have that.
upset now, and she's cutting herself. She's a cutter because of your daughter.
She's a cutter. I can't have that on my podcast.
She's a cutter. She's not happy.
When did that start? When did cutting start?
I think it's been around for a while, but it's always when you meet that girl where you look at the forearms and you're like,
Whoa.
yeah, you know she's going to be good in bed, but
I had a buddy who found these marks on a girl like after he had dated her for a while. And then he like saw one of her arms was like sliced up, and he goes, "It was a window into madness." He said, "All of a sudden, I just went, what the fuck is this?" And he goes, and then I realized what the fuck. He goes like, and they were like lines, man. I can't believe I hadn't noticed them before. And he goes, and all of a sudden, I was like, holy shit!
I went out with a girl, long sleeves, and then after a few weeks, and then I saw it, and because every time sex was in like you had to be in the light to see it, not just the. And it was just these little, like thousands of these little white marks.
Oh. Doesn't Lindsay Lohan allegedly do that?
Really?
That's what
I had a friend who did it, who she told me about it. It's quite a successful lady now. But, and she explained it to me as you're depressed, you blame yourself, and everyone's telling you that you shouldn't blame yourself, you're just sad. Why do you hate yourself? And you can never answer that question. But if you cut yourself, you're like, that's why I hate myself, because I'm a fuck up. Who would do that to themselves?
Ooh.
I should hate myself. I've just cut myself.
Man.
It gives them the excuse to.
It's so amazing to me that we spend so much time worrying about shit that's going on overseas in these other countries, and so little time worrying about how many people are just getting raised in some crazy fucked up way. How many people are, completely unqualified to be having children. How many children are suffering under the guidance and parental leadership of these fuckheads? Like someone should invest something. It's probably got to be done by everybody all at once together. There's no way like the government could fix the problem of stupidity and craziness and abuse in this country. There's no way. I mean, but it at least makes some sort of effort to slow it down.
Yeah.
I mean, children, it's almost always something fucked up happens to children, and then they start doing shit like cutting themselves or, a lot of, other disturbing shit. A lot of it is related to sexual abuse. The guy from Hoarders said whenever shit's involved, if he goes to a house and people are storing their shit or shitting in diapers and leaving them piled up, it's always sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Fuck. Crazy, man. We got to fix that. There's got to be a way to fix the human. Just fix the animals.
Trying not to fuck kids is really the best way, isn't it?
But the best way is you got
making kids ugly. We can start that way.
No, that's
like
unpleasant.
bad haircuts and horrible clothing.
We've got to figure out a way to filter every human being through some sort of analysis. Something that lets you know like how fucked up they are and why. If we could ever measure with like a machine psychological fucked upness. If there's a machine, you could talk all the shit you want, but I'm going to send you through a machine, and the machine comes out like, oh no, this guy's fucking crazy. But that would be bad, because then the government would use that machine and say, even though this guy's talking logically and normally, we know in the back of his head that he's a suicide bomber.
They would cheat with the machine.
Yeah, they would cheat, just like the voting machines, the fucks.
I've just bought a home,
Yes.
and going through the mortgage process, I found to be very stressful. And the only reason why I mentioned this is because of the terrorist thing. They sat me down because I'm not a citizen, right? So they asked to see what all my checks were deposited, my big money checks that had gone in there. What were they, and why did I get these checks, right? To see if I was a terrorist. Right? First, I had to be an idiot but they were all like the Chuckle Hut. Bananas. Like, it was all comedy related. And I was going, that one's comedy as well. That one's also comedy. Yes? No, that one's comedy. Who's Caroline? She's comedy as well.
That's hilarious.
But I just said that, I don't know if Americans have to do that, but I was asked whether it was to fund terrorist stuff or...
Wow. That's fascinating.
Well, what's the point? I'd have to be the biggest fucking idiot terrorist in the world to go comedy club. Now that one, Al Qaeda. That one's a bad one.
Yeah, right.
Like it's all comedy clubs and then sometimes training in the mountains of Turkey. You ever see those training videos where the dudes are running with like fucking the rifles over their heads? They have like the traditional Afghani outfits on.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating, man. Fascinating. Those training footages, the terrorist training footages. They're like, you bitches are out of shape. Like, look at you. What kind of fucking killer?
Oh no, it is like a little league team trying to play the Yankees.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Like, we're getting ready.
We have got your bats now. Look
Yeah.
at this.
With our homemade ball. And our bat we made
We
out
did
of
not have a
log.
ball, so we have got rubber bands and got tape, and we have got the tape over and over, and it's covered it in some yuck.
One of the big UFC fighters got popped for steroids this week. Not
Right.
steroids, but he tested Alistair Overeem, tested his testosterone to estrogen was 14-1.
Wow.
Yeah, which is like normal. A normal person is 1-1, and they allow 4-1.
Right.
And Nevada allows 6-1 because that used to be the standard up until recently.
So he shouldn't all
His-
had all of his hair falling out and stuff.
No, dude, but he looks like a goddamn superhero. He looks like a superhero in a movie. Alistair Overeem's not gay. I'm not gay or anything, but the best built.
You're not gay or
sexy-
anything. You're not
Not gay or
anything.
Not anything.
It's always when I'm talking about a man, it's anything right now. There's nothing sexual about what I'm saying, but he's absolutely the most unrealistically built human I've
Right.
ever seen. Like if you
Right,
see
Lou
him,
Ferrigno type of.
yeah, but the perfect size. Like the guy, like he's smaller than like Lou Ferrigno, but ridiculously big. You see him, you're like, what? They call him Ubereem. Like ridiculous build. But he used to fight at 205. He used to be a much smaller, much skinnier guy, and he packed on all this weight. And so they don't know what caused this guy to test so high, but it's most likely that he was supplementing his body's natural.
I thought
hormones.
most of them were probably on some type of injection.
I would wonder what the real numbers are, man. I would wonder, but they're doing things like this now, and they're gonna find out. They're gonna catch a lot of people because what they're doing is they're doing it randomly. Like they show up for a press conference, no one told them they were gonna be drug tested, and then boom, all of a sudden the Nevada State Athletic Commission is taking samples from them.
Wow.
So they didn't have a chance to prepare for it. In the past, what they would do is they would try to cycle off of it, but some people didn't. And the people that didn't fucked it up for everybody else because then people started testing positive, and then people started they started overturning. A few fights have been overturned because of it.
That should be a reality show. Dana should make that where they just jump in like, all right, we're going to test you now, and then
That's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea. I don't want to see that. I think they're going to have to figure out how many people are actually doing this stuff. I know for sure people have been caught. So for sure people are doing it. And there's the estimations vary from some people say half, some people say almost all are doing something. Some people say it's a small percentage. You would have to go fight camp to fight camp and get guys on some sort of an anonymous poll where they were honest with you but knew that they weren't going to get in trouble for it. And even then, I don't think people would be smart to tell the truth. It's just, there's a long-standing tradition in almost every professional sport where people take things that make them better. That's a fact. And it's because they want to get better at that sport and their body just can't keep up the work pace. Can't keep up the workload. Can a guy get as big as Mark McGuire got without steroids? Yeah, probably. But that motherfucker better be eating ham sandwiches every 15 minutes and doing squats and deadlifts, and he's not going to have a lot of time for baseball. That's a goddamn power lifter physique, and he got it by just bang, just slamming that needle in and pumping in that fucking Superman juice and that's the way you get good at baseball. And that bat felt like nothing to him. He got up. That guy was fucking massive when he was the home run king. When it was him and Sammy Sosa were doing back and forth, both of them looked like fucking superheroes, man. Just giant muscles. And they would go up and pank, and these fucking balls would go flying through the air into parking lots and shit. And everybody loved it, but they didn't love how they did it. And it's crazy that Mark McGuire is the only one who really kind of got off the hook about it. He admitted it to get a coaching job after he had retired, but he had shrunk down to a normal sized person.
You look at Barry Bonds now.
Yeah.
He looks like at the beginning of his career.
Yeah, he slimmed down.
Yeah. He just.
Well, he was probably doing a lot of crazy shit in order to get better as he got older. That's when you're in your 40s and you're just smashing balls, or like Roger Clemens was just throwing crazy heat. He got better. It's weird. It's weird how you can dip, like your age, it starts to show the signs of age, and then you just charge right back up. And everybody's like, well, that's terrible, he's cheating. But I'm like, God damn it. Look how crazy it is, though, that there's something that you can take that makes you better at sports. And isn't like being better at sports, isn't being more athletic, isn't being more vibrant a sign of being healthy? So shouldn't we be looking at this guy and go, isn't it amazing that modern science has allowed Barry Bonds to actually get better as he gets older? And maybe allow him to take a little bit of this and a little bit of that as long as he's not getting too crazy. Because, look, without that, he was a very good baseball player anyway. But with that, Jesus fucking Christ, did shit get fun at the ballpark. and you look at Barry, he seems fine. You know, I mean, no one's stepping in to stop, Ralphie May from eating too much. There's no one from the government that's stepping in the name of comedy and stopping him from eating too much. Is steroids a personal choice? But is that making him better
at comedy, though?
Is it personal? Is it a personal
roid
choice?
rage. Roid rage is real.
That's my analogy was a terrible analogy. Forget it. It didn't make sense. What I was trying to say was that I guess it does make him way better at the sport. But I mean, why wouldn't something that makes you better at a sport be legal? Shouldn't it be like used properly? It seems to me that there's a lot of people that as they get older, their hormones
isn't there arguments that it gives you cancer or whatever? But everything does.
What the fuck doesn't give you cancer? They could say anything gives you cancer at this point. I think a lot of people think cell phones, but there's no cases of it. I don't think there's anybody who's had a brain tumor from a cell phone. Have you heard that?
Well, there's people who claim they did.
Really? Have there?
There's people who've gotten brain tumors, but they're not doctors who are saying this, but have gone, I think it's because of... Blah, blah, blah.
There's so much toxic shit in a person's environment. It's so possible if you're not careful with your diet and careful with your health. If you could be you would live someplace where you don't even realize it, and the whole town's getting poisoned by some chemical leak or some shit. I mean, that's happened a bunch of times. It's real common. It's very difficult out there, Jim Jefferies. It is
in this country. It's very difficult. More chemicals in the food.
Is it? You find that food tastes different here than in Australia?
No, I find it harder in this country to keep my weight off because the chemicals and like eating sort of the same amount. I find.
What is it different? Like, what kind of shit do you?
Well, I think most beef in Australia is just grass fed. That isn't just like
Which is the best for you.
Yeah, that isn't just an option. I think that's just what beef is in Australia. And things like MSG is just illegal. Where it's not over here. Trans fats are just...
It should be illegal.
Just illegal.
It's so ridiculous that that's not illegal.
Well, guess what, boys? So should cigarettes, and you're both smokers.
Yeah.
I mean, cigarettes is... if neither one of you could be hooked on cigarettes, wouldn't you choose to not be hooked on it?
The thing about MSG is different. I actually have a little reaction I get to MSG. I feel a bit twitchy if I've eaten it. I know I've eaten it, so... when I go into a Chinese restaurant now, I have to go, do you have MSG in your food? And they'll lie to you sometimes. And sometimes they'll lie to me.
Right. And how do you know?
I just feel a little bit on edge just afterwards. My nerves are a bit,
What is it? What's the official medical?
I don't know. Just allergic to MSG. It's a very sort of where you get that like that tingly feeling in your jaw, like that. What's that? It's like, that happens to me.
Wow.
But
monosodium glutamate.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what it is?
And all it is a fucking tenderizer or whatever. It's not.
I thought it was like a flavor enhancer.
I think it makes meat softer and makes vegetables greener.
Huh.
Really? You know what I mean? It gives it color and meat. But anyway, it's illegal in the restaurant. Trans fats are illegal in the restaurant. These are things you just don't fucking need.
Well,
stuff.
We have a real problem in this country where the giant corporations have essentially completely bypass the whole system of government and just control politicians. I mean, they just essentially just buy people out, and that's what's been done in this country for the last few decades. Probably, who knows? The argument is forever, but the point is, right now, the way things stand today, there's a lot of shit that's bad for you that's legal. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of goddamn painkillers that are fucking terribly addictive, and they're passing them out like cookies. There's a lot of shit in this country that's fucked up. It's it's a big mess, and how fucking fix this? What'd you do, Jim Jefferies, as an outsider?
What would I do? What to fix America?
Yeah,
I'd bring in healthcare. I'm a big believer in healthcare.
Healthcare would do it.
Healthcare, I believe, is essential in a modern society. I can't listen to anymore. I've lived in Britain where the healthcare's good, and I've lived in Australia where the healthcare's great. And the arguments that certain Republican and on talkback radio where they go, I won't have as good healthcare, and what about my great healthcare I have now? And then you can still get private healthcare cover. This is what people don't get. You can still get the good private stuff, but you won't.
You won't have an ailment and not treat it.
You'll never know the price of one of your ailments.
Right.
That's the whole thing. You never know the price. So at the moment, I had a couple of moles cut on my back because I had some cancerous moles in my back cut out, right?
Whoa.
The doctor I was with, the dermatologist, was like, it's $1,400 to this. And I was thinking, that can't fucking be $1,400 to do, right? So I went and checked with another dermatologist, and they said $500, right? Now, if I just had... What happens with private healthcare cover in Britain... Everyone gets the same doctors, but if you're just using public healthcare, you're put on a waiting list. So they might look at your mole and go, all right, you're 2 months before you can get that cut out, right? Where if you have the private stuff on top, you go straight to the beginning of the list. But I never know how much I'm paying or how much they're charging or whatever, so it's regulated a lot better. Over here, it feels like getting quotes from fucking mechanics.
Yeah, it's totally like that. And especially dentists out here are the worst. Like dentists almost are trying to upgrade you with certain things that you pretty much don't need.
Yeah, going, you think you need a filling here because there weren't a few. It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, my dad's trying to give me Invisalign.
Yeah, mine was trying to give me.
I got a little bit of crooked teeth. My bottom, a couple of them are crooked. Like, fuck out of here, bitch.
Invisalign. Oh, it's like invisible braces.
Yeah, little.
Dude, if you're gonna get braces, you better get just regular braces.
You know,
I think that would look fucking awesome.
some dudes got braces and it helped them a lot. Like Frank Shamrock got braces, but his teeth were fucked up. My teeth are not that fucked
Remember
up.
when like Tom Cruise did it like a few years ago, like 5 years ago?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
what was wrong with his teeth before? I don't remember ever looking at his teeth like, oh, Tom's fucked.
I don't know. He's probably crazy. If you're that famous, you
yeah.
must be completely out of your fucking mind. How do you beat Tom Cruise? That guy can't go anywhere in the world without someone knowing who he is. And yet, he's in a crazy cult organization, and yet there's rumors of him being gay.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about like a dark circle of secrets.
Yeah.
You know, if Tom Cruise really is gay, that would be the ultimate reality show.
And it's a rumor that people just never shut up about. And I will say, even people in the industry.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've heard it from so many people that I've heard people say that they thought he was out.
Him and Travolta.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Especially Travolta.
Travolta, I think is.
They caught him with a photo of him
kissing a guy getting on his plane.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And who was the nanny? And he's like, come on, man.
You know, I mean, maybe this is just weird like that. He could just be. But there's a lot of people that say they've had sex with him. Yeah. You know, and he's just, whatever, man. Let the guy be gay. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't give a shit if he's gay.
I would be happier for the guy if he would just come out. You know, nobody cares. It's goddamn John Travolta. People love him. They love him from Saturday Night Fever. They love him from Pulp Fiction. They would love him.
We personally know, well, of course, we're not going to say who, but we personally know comedians who are gay who keep it under wraps as well.
It's the saddest shit ever, isn't it?
And I always think comics especially, we're meant to be the most honest of them all.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? We're not playing characters. We're playing ourselves. Exactly. I feel like, and there's some of them where...
Like Eddie Ives.
No.
Yeah, no.
Well, the one here's my. I'm gonna say something. You tell me. You tell me if you agree. I find that the ones that keep it in the closet, they always have a problem with creativity. They always have a problem with coming up with new material, because they're not really alive in their own life, like free and open, and you know they're not unrestricted. So it's more difficult for them to come up with material, and especially because they can't draw on real life experiences, the gay stuff. So they're like really like in this weird pocket of bullshit.
Well, there's the ones that are gay that you're not even allowed to say it to them, and then there's the ones that amongst the comedy community we can all say the person's gay.
Right.
But you know, there's a fairly famous older black gentleman who we all know, and he gets angry if you.
Oh yeah, he'll get very mad.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. He's old school. He'll fight you.
Yeah, he'll fight you on it, and you're like.
He thinks
There's more than one of those, by the way.
Yeah,
there's more than one of those gentlemen.
I could have been talking about either one of them.
Yeah. There's several.
I think it might be harder in the black community, and that might be very ignorant of me to say that, but I think it might be harder in the black community of that generation.
I'd be willing to guess yes. I don't know though.
Oh yeah, I don't know, but I think
if I had a time machine, I don't think I'd go back in time to the black community of that generation.
I never remember an episode of Good Times where they went, "Oh, here's Gay Barry." Like,
yeah,
dynamite.
Yeah,
oh my god.
I don't know, maybe. It would suck, though. Dom Herrera is so fucking funny. He said, I wish I was gay just so I could come out. But he really is that guy. He does not give a fuck. Like, he's not pretending to not. He really doesn't give a fuck. So when he says something, I wish I was gay just so I could come out. It's extra funny.
It is like an extra little treat they get in life. They come out.
Coming out. Yeah, and have everybody embrace you. We love you for your personality. We don't care.
Yeah, I'd love to have people ring me up one day and go, I still love you. Just for no reason.
Yeah.
People who haven't said they loved me ever, just to say they still love me once, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think in the people that you lose if you're a gay guy and you come out of the closet, do you really want that guy in your life?
No, you don't want them.
Yeah.
But see, then you get the double one. Say you lose a granddad, but then a few years later he's like, you know what? I want to be back in your life again. And then you get another little present on top.
If your granddad, but then what if he just
Wait.
talks about it while you're fishing? How many
Okay,
dicks
wait.
you sucked last week? Tell your grandpa.
Yeah.
How many? You fucking freak. You can't just be with a girl. Is it really that bad? Girls are pretty. All of a sudden you're stuck on a boat with angry grandpa.
He has a remarkable, truth to that. Like, girls are very pretty. He is right. You know.
A lot of them are.
That's the confusing thing about homosexuality. It's what are they thinking?
Well, the confusing thing about heterosexuality.
I will fight for their right to think that way, but I'll never understand it.
The confusing thing about heterosexuality is what the fuck do the girls see in us? That's ridiculous.
I don't understand why anyone's fucking men on either side. No one should be fucking men.
Yeah, it doesn't look like fun to me. Especially when you get into weird shit that you'll never understand, like girls who want to be choked. Like, can you even relate to that?
We had a contortionist last night on the Naughty Show, and she can put her leg up here, and she likes to be choked while fucking
Wow, that's crazy. She likes to triangle herself.
Yeah, triangle herself with her.
She puts her leg over her shoulders.
Yeah.
Does she lock it up?
Yeah.
Whoa. She triangles herself.
Well, that's good because then.
Wow.
Because you ever choked a girl and then you got that bit where their eyes are just rolled back a bit, and you got to.
I'm trying to think if I could triangle myself. I don't think I could.
I don't think
Dude, you got to see it, man. She also is.
I'm pretty flexible.
Bend her legs up and put it behind her back.
Yeah,
and
but
her pussy. You can almost see it.
Even though you're flexible, I don't think your legs are long enough.
Yeah,
to
too
do
much.
Because
Yeah.
a girl's leg is longer than a male's leg proportionally.
Well, not only that, there's also the body's thinner, so you can compress it more. You know, when you got body mass, it makes it more difficult to flatten out.
Sure.
But you'd have to be in some serious flexible. So she chokes herself, and then what happens?
She was just showing us what her favorite thing.
While she's getting fucked?
Yeah,
She was
while
telling
she's
you
getting
that?
fucked, yeah.
Wow, that's a
And
green
she
light,
showed it.
son. That girl wants to fuck. Was
They
anybody
both
with
do.
her?
Dude, they're both. They do burlesque here in Los Angeles, and they do
she was letting you know
stormtroopers. They dress up as stormtroopers.
How what position she likes to be in when she gets extremely violent.
Somehow I came up
fucked.
to that. Yeah.
Dude, you need to jump
on
on
the
that
podcast.
grenade. And like a loyal soldier, you need to jump on that grenade.
Oh no!
Please.
No, I don't want that.
Help someone. Set
I think
someone
she
up
has a
with her.
boyfriend, I
Good
think,
for
or
her.
husband.
Good. What a good kid. What a lucky fella. That lad, he lucked out.
She's this close. She said she was this close from being able to eat her own pussy. And
I've seen girls eat their own pussy.
Yeah?
I have seen a
Yeah.
girl do that. Yeah, it's crazy.
I've cut it out first to feed it.
Oh, Jefferies again. Score!
I told you about it. I could touch the tip of my.
Guys,
dick
I
with
have
my-
to piss so bad. Please talk. For
Yeah, I got to get going soon. Should we wrap it
I
up?
should- I
Let me
should go
piss and then
also.
we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Talk for
I
20
could
seconds.
touch the tip of my penis with my tongue.
With
But
your
then-
tongue?
But once I do it, I'm like, this is the gayest thing I can.
It's
ever-
ridiculous,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's like, why would I want to do that?
I've never been able to do that, but I don't think I think you would do it once just to have
Yeah, it was like an elbow. It's pretty much.
it was like an elbow, tastes
Elbow.
like an elbow?
Yeah, it just felt like an elbow, like on your tongue.
I can't touch my elbow with my tongue. Whose elbows have you
Oh.
been licking?
Well, I guess I could do it.
No, you can't.
Almost.
No, not the tip. So you can't lick your elbow.
I must have licked some other girl's elbow.
Yeah, I've probably nibbled on a couple of girls. So the top of your cock tastes like a girl's elbow.
Yeah.
That's good. Now,
So you have your own podcast.
Now every time I lick a girl's elbow, I'm going to feel like I'm sucking a cock.
You have your own podcast. with
I'm
Eddie.
podcast with Eddie If called Talking Shit
Now-
on iTunes.
now,
We
Eddie's
have good
always
weeks
asking
and we
me-
have bad.
Eddie's always asking or telling me about how iTunes is always take down your shit. Did they
Yeah.
stop? Did they back off?
At the moment we're on, but we never get on you or Noteworthy or anything like that. We never get into the little thing, but that's okay.
Have you ever thought about just changing the name?
Eddie's very attached to it. It's I'm not too bothered
By what?
about changing the name of the podcast because iTunes took us down a couple of times. So
Oh, yeah. What would you call it?
Well, at the moment, it's still talking shit, but we just moved the S over to talking, so it's talking's hit.
Oh,
It's still,
I used to do that with Pepsi Spice when I did the Pepsi Spice project.
oh, talking's hit. Yeah, that's not bad. That's actually good.
yeah, talking's hit.
That's not bad. Yeah, leave it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what the fuck it says. Mm-hmm. It's weird, isn't it? Can't have shit on iTunes, really?
Yeah.
But what could be in the podcast? Anything. It could offend someone to see the word shit. Well, you know, what kind of clientele you dealing
Well, it's even
with?
that Mark Maron has WTF. Everyone knows what that means.
Yeah.
You know, like as long as it's abbreviated.
Yeah.
But I always find those how insulting it is, like when you get the swear word that's made out of question marks and at symbols.
Yeah. You know what gets me? Freaking. This freaking guy pulls this freaking car, and someone can do that in front of kids. They can do that in front of old people. You could say freaking in front of anybody. I've seen.
Yeah.
It's like.
But it's just a lot of kids translating.
Well, it's silly.
Yeah.
Freaking is silly. You're saying fucking. You're saying fucking.
Yeah.
This fucking guy cut me off. You're saying that, but you're saying it to me in this weird, reserved way by saying freaking.
Oh, the Irish, the Irish have a word
the same
called
intent.
feck. Feck. F-E-C-K. You fucking idiot. You fucking
Yeah.
feck.
Well, you know, and they had on CNN. They said fucking over and over and over again because they're playing back this tape from that Zimmerman guy, the 911 call, the guy who supposedly, he did kill that Trayvon Martin kid. You know, that whole story?
Right.
Well, they were wondering whether or not he said he was on. They recorded his phone call with the 911 guy. They were wondering whether he said fucking coon. So they're playing
Right.
over and over and over. They bring in all these like special enhancements, and at the end, they believe he was saying "fucking cold" because it was raining and cold that day in Florida. But the minute they spent like 15 minutes playing this back and forth, talking about it, and Wolf Blitzer saying, "So now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have kids, please, I'd like you to ask them to leave the room right now. You're going to hear some very strong language." We have brought in a voice expert who has analyzed Mr. Zimmerman's tone, and he plays it back. Fucking coons, fucking coons, fucking coons. And then they had brought in a new guy. It's really kind of fucked up that they did this way. Because then they brought in like a new recording, and they said, well, now in this new recording, you believe that it's not that, correct?
Yeah.
And the guy goes, yes. When we play it back, now it says fucking cold.
Yeah.
You hear the guy say fucking cold. So you already had that information, but you played all this other shit where it said fucking coon, fucking coon. You knew that's not what he said.
Yeah.
But you drew people in and kept me listening, tricking me with your old information. You played back your old information to rope people in. You fucking... Whoever did that is dirty. That's a dirty move.
Fucking coon.
Because I was hearing that guy, my opinion changed of him. As I was driving, my opinion changed.
Yeah.
I'm hearing fucking coon. I'm like, whoa, he's calling fucking coon? Really? Like, wow, this motherfucker's on phone. He's on 911 and he's calling this kid a fucking coon.
Yeah.
This is what they had me believing. And then I'm like, wow, the guy was probably a piece of shit. And then I hear fucking cold. I'm like, oh, he's kind of a bitch. Kind of a whiner, which makes sense in the first place. If even if his story is true, if the 17-year-old kid's on top of him beating him up,
I also have to urinate.
dude, let's get this fucking thing over with. If you look for Jim on Twitter, it's Jefferies.
Jefferies. Jefferies.
I fucked up and tweeted earlier.
There's another guy who impersonates me on the other spelling.
Some fake ass bitch. There's a lot of them out there, folks. Don't be one. You have the power to control your life, right, Jim Jefferies?
Yep, you certainly do.
You do? You sure?
I don't know. You can give it a go.
Give it a go. Check out their podcast. Check out the Death Squad, where we will be doing an Ice House Chronicles tomorrow night.
Tonight.
Oh, tonight. What's
We're about
today?
to go there
Friday?
right now.
Oh shit, we're gonna do another podcast moments from now. But by the time you hear this, if you're in your car, it's already taken place. The only way to hear it though is to go to Death Squad on iTunes and subscribe. And there's a bunch of other podcasts in there. All of them at this point in time, all of them are funny. Are you happy with all of them?
I'm really happy, especially the
Everything's
new
good?
ones. We got with Dana Diermon and Ryan Keeley.
I didn't know.
Muff Said's a comic book one, and then last night we started Sex Squad back up with beautiful
Well, how are you
new
gonna
host
how are you gonna do that when
Dana
the other girl has
Diermon.
the girl's still calling it Sex Squad?
I don't care what she does.
Oh, come on, Brian. You're confusing the shit out of people. You should rename
She's
it.
confusing the shit out of people.
I say you let them have that. I say you be a bigger, better man. And let
It
them
has
have
the word
that.
squad in it. It wasn't her show.
Yeah, but there's a lot of,
wait.
there's a lot of people
Joe,
that
let me,
sex squad.
let's talk.
and-
I didn't really want to talk about this, but let's talk about this real quick.
Okay, let's talk about
I
it.
go to somebody. I'm going like, hey, I want to do a show on my
understand.
podcast. It's a sex-based podcast,
Right.
and I'm going to call it Sex Cast.
Uh-huh.
And then Jaden Cole goes, why don't you just call it Sex Squad? And I'm
Okay.
like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then I'm like, hey, do you want to come on the show? And then do you want to come on the show? Somebody else and somebody else. And then they just kind of stop talking to me and go like, hey, we're taking the show.
Listen, I completely agree with you on that they should have said something to you and that's not cool
Well-
for them to leave and take the name. But all I'm saying is let them.
No.
What do you care? You can have another name.
No,
It's-
they could take another name.
But why?
You know why?
Brian?
Because I created a show. I was
Okay,
co-host of the show. I
but-
paid for the show. I did the show.
But-
and it was not their show to begin with. There were people on the show.
I understand, but they
So-
wanted to
so-
go and do it on their own.
so
they should have changed the name. But why wouldn't you just give it to
Because
them?
I don't give a fuck. You know, I don't give a fuck.
Okay, I would just say that the girl. Other
It's
girl,
like you're like pretty much telling me you're like right now. Don't use that avatar on Facebook.
no, that's not what I'm saying, man.
Yes, you are.
I'm saying, look, you were gonna do this show with them. You're not gonna do it anymore. You're gonna do another.
And
one.
it was supposed to not be with them 100%. It was supposed to be other people on the show. It was them sometimes, and then they kind of
wait
just
a minute,
took
wait a minute,
squatted on the
but
show.
didn't you only do it with them?
Yeah, but Ryan Keeley and a couple other people were supposed to be on the show at points of time, but they kind of talked me out of it type stuff.
Okay, but they did talk you out of it though, and all the episodes they did were with just them.
No, one time they had Ari Shafir, but I was the host of the show.
Okay.
I'm the one that
You-
first was like, hey, this is Brian coming here from
Right.
Ice Hats. We're here again. What's up, Jaden? How
But
you doing today?
in all fairness, and I'm on your side for this because first of all, you can't just take a guy's show if he's the host of it and
And
you're
you know-
on
you know
it
what?
and you
You know
tell
what?
him and run somewhere else. But didn't that Jaden Cole guy? Didn't she actually come up
I
with a
just
name?
told you exactly what happened. I said I wanted to do a podcast.
Right.
It was called Sex Cast, and she goes, "You should call it Sex Squad
Right.
because it's on the Death Squad podcast now."
Yes, I heard that. But that's her name then? She invented it.
She could do whatever she fucking wants. I'm the one that fucking
Okay.
used it and paid for it and made a podcast with it.
You're getting crazy.
All right.
You're getting so angry.
Without me creating Death or me using Death Squad and her knowing Death Squad, would she have ever used the word squad?
Who knows?
Exactly. So she
I
could say
don't
that she
know.
took the 50% of it from me.
But isn't there other sex squads online? Isn't there
There's fucking tons of sex squads. I didn't create sex squads.
Right.
Opie didn't. Anthony, no,
Right.
or whatever. It's it's there's actually another company that makes sexual harassment videos
Okay.
for fucking schools. So it's not even something that's original anyway.
I know, dude, but all I'm saying is, look, she shouldn't have taken it for sure.
No, you know
They
what else she
go
shouldn't.
there, but they're
You know what
gonna-
she also shouldn't take it. I could fucking sit here and show you about 50 text messages that I got from Jaden James.
Okay, let's
Wait, I
listen.
could do that?
Don't.
But I didn't.
Okay,
But you know what
good.
she did? She went on her website, made blogs about it, fucking posted shit about it. I could show the shit that she was
Yeah,
saying.
don't you kind of feel bad that that's her? That's what she's doing? Don't you
Yeah,
kind of feel bad?
I feel
don't
bad.
you feel bad about this whole situation?
I feel bad, but you know what? They're not using the Sex Squad name. They started the first Tuesday show. They're calling it something like Sex Squid, or it's just spelled all
No, it's,
funky.
it's sex squad.
All right,
It's
let
just
them
spelled
let them
different.
do whatever the fuck they want. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
All I said is, why don't you please not use the
Okay.
word squad because it confuses a show that we already started
Okay.
with Sex Squad.
Well,
called Sex
let me
Squad.
just clarify one thing. I don't ever like to get as worked up about a stupid name as you just did.
Well, I
You
don't
got
like to get bashed
so-
on somebody's. Joe, if you got bashed on somebody's
you're not
website,
getting
you
ba-
get
listen,
mad,
listen,
wouldn't
listen. You're not getting bashed by a balanced person. I certainly would. But you could have avoided this conflict with her. If she wants to do cuntish things and take that elsewhere, you tell her no. But
Look,
don't go
I thought Jaden Cole was a
battling.
good friend of mine. She didn't fucking say one word to me. She didn't make one call. They said that that I didn't return phone calls and stuff. They
Yeah.
made shit up about me.
Well,
they can fucking
that's-
eat a dick.
That's unfortunate, but
That's
dude,
called fucking slander, and I didn't even fucking do shit.
But listen to all these fuckings that are
making
coming
shit
out of your
up.
mouth. Don't
Yeah, 'cause
even
I'm
let them
pissed.
have that kind of power over you, man. Just cut them loose. Cut them loose in life. Don't hate on them.
Well, anyways,
Let
the
'em-
new
it's
podcast
it's silly.
is great.
Okay, I'm glad we called another name. The new Sex Squad. How about that? The new Sex Squad review.
It's Butt Sex Squad with Dana Tierman.
Dana and her giant butt. Remember when she told us she has a giant butt?
She's awesome.
Listen, man, I don't like seeing you get all worked up like that.
Well,
You got
I don't like getting. I don't like lies. People
understand.
talking shit on me
I
and
understand.
slander.
I understand.
If they would have just came to me and be like, "Hey, can we do this podcast somewhere else?" I'd be like, "You know what? Okay.
What
if
didn't
want
you
to.
like about the podcast? Doing it? Listen, let's end this
Yeah,
shit.
that's stupid shit.
All right, folks. Fucking goddamn show is over. Jim Jefferies' show starts in about 10 minutes. He's not even gonna make it there on time. We've kept him here late with some nonsense arguments.
You're both in the right.
Jim Jefferies, you're a powerful individual, a hilarious stand-up comic. Thank you very much for being on the
Thank
show.
you so
are the
much for
shit.
having me.
Thank you to the Fleshlight. You know what to do. Go to the Fleshlight, enter in the code name Rogan, save yourself 15%. Oh shit, I said it. You heard it. Go to onnit.com, ONNIT, and use the code name Rogan to pick up your Shroom Tech, your Alpha Brain, your Shroom Tech Immune, or your we got a lot of shit coming out. We got kettlebells coming out too, son. See you, dirty freaks. Use the code name Rogan, save 10%. And we will see you guys next week. Lots of fun shit next week. All right. Lots of surprises. See you guys.